Oh, good morning. What's going on? Oh my God. Oh, my settings didn't update. Oh my God. What's going on, friends? Let me turn that mysterious music off, that loop. Oh my God. I'm mystified. Wow. It really worked. What's going on, y'all? AB, you're in John Cena mode. We can't see you. That's right, Dale. See, hold on. Let me get this going on. You can see me now. Hold on. Hello, friends. I haven't done my short hair this morning. I was outside doing some cleanup. Oh dear. John Cena mode. That's hilarious. So I have to do things a little bit differently this morning. I have to do things just a tad bit differently. I have to keep that window open. Let me just pop this in the back. I was just over at 1111 True Crime. I God bless her. I love everybody. But she got excited about posting this. Hold on here. She got excited about posting this uninterrupted, disturbing, enhanced, leaked audio of step-grandpa of Lilly and Jack Sullivan with transcription. Listen, I had to leave a note under there. I'm like, this transcription needs to be corrected. The auto function... Oh, I got some spelling errors. The auto function isn't even close, making the transcription misleading. And it can be. It is so frustrating to read that transcription when it's so completely different from the words that are coming out of the guy's mouth. That's just the auto function. Like, you know how you can, when you're making whatever, you have CapCut or what is the other one I use? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Any photo or video editing software will give you the closed captions function, and it's an automated AI thing. And it doesn't do heavy accents well at all. It doesn't do it justice. And Wade here, Malaya's stepfather, or Cindy's boyfriend, her mother, his accent's so heavy, and the words, he's speaking in cursive. It's very difficult. Like, you can get it, but he's got this cadence that's really hard for the system to pick up, and therefore it fucks up every third letter to the... God knows what it's actually writing, but she didn't proofread it first, so no big deal. You just can't look at the screen, which is fine for us. I was going through that again just now. My God. The auto function. Let me see. So, let me pull this up so I can see what people are saying. What's up, Sweet Tea? Good to see you this morning. I was over at Dolly's this morning as well, checking out exactly what the hell is going on. He's talking. Dolly was talking. Let me get my glasses on. Dolly was talking, or I guess he's offering to do an interview with Malaya. Oh, God bless him. God bless him. I didn't know Dolly didn't like Justin that much. He was up there shit talking Justin like crazy last night. I'm going, are you talking? I was listening to him and thinking, are you talking about Justin? What did Justin do behind the scenes that's got Dolly all pissed off? I don't know that. I didn't know anything about that. Quillfish, you got an abscess? Oh my God, girl, get some antibiotics stat before that infection gets up in your brain. I've had a couple abscesses in the past. I woke up one day and my face was so swollen I couldn't even recognize myself, and that was my first experience with an abscessed tooth. I had to go to a wedding on that weekend too. I looked like the Elephant Man. It was horrible. Is Dolly that guy that looks like Shaggy that's always high, LOL? Dale C, I don't know if he is high in that sense. I don't think so. No more than we are over here. Especially when we're smoking weed coming live to you. Morning wake and bakes. Our medicine. But I think you're probably... It's not coming up yet. You're probably on the right track. That's Dolly. He looks a bit shaggy sometimes. But I think that's just the way he is. He's just like that, right? I think we're talking about the same guy. The right side of your face is swollen, Quillfish? You don't think Dolly does rugs? I'm pretty sure he probably doesn't. Not like Malaya. Not in that sense. Yeah, Dolly's all right. But I don't know what his issue was with Justin. They must have got into it. Do some dirty dealings in the background. The only thing, he's always eager to do fundraising in that circumstance too. I still kind of pissed off about that, but people can do whatever they want. See, when it's Malaya's friend, and maybe I'm understanding it incorrectly, but I'm understanding it through a third party. When Malaya's friend is out there starting a GoFundMe for $25,000 in order to do all the things that they already have all of these agencies in place for, I mean, there's nothing saying that you can't, but here's a situation. Don't do it under the guise of these two children, because you're making it look like the false narrative that's in place is really legitimate and people get confused. Always in this state of wonder, hoping they're going to come back alive. And allegedly Malaya still thinks these kids are alive. So there's definitely a false narrative going on in the background that I'm not going to be party to. I'm going to talk all about it, But it's bullshit. So, granted, Dolly's putting it out there, and he's got to talk about it in a way that is going to appeal to Malaya in this circumstance. I'm going to tell you, I don't want to fucking talk to you, Malaya. You don't talk to the judge. My interest is in the honesty, the lack thereof in this circumstance. That's always interesting to go on and on about. Cooper1234, why do people hate Justin? Because he, well, I can tell you from an outsider point where the controversy is. I don't know specifically in that circumstance. People are upset at Justin for all kinds of different reasons. I think because he was so close with another creator who's known to be just a straight dirty dealer and scammer. Once you're a creator, you know it's on a different level. You know people who in their dealings behind the scenes, and there's always opportunists. There's always people who take advantage of the individuals that follow them, and the individual I think that Justin aligns himself with, a lot of people recognize the individual as a straight out criminal, we'll say. Con artist, scammer. So whatever they feel, they have their emotions up. And I'm talking about Molly Golightly. You know, I can appreciate, people can do whatever they want. People do whatever they want, but when you that's just an easy way of shaking the things off. You know, people in this particular genre are often criticized for taking advantage of emotionally charged people in a vulnerable state of mind. And for the majority, that's the entire reason they're here. So the thing is with Molly is that she's so well known. She's so well known in that sense that there's a large group of people and followers who watch her who dislike her. So she's got a lot of her contrarians or people who don't like her following her, and there's an interest in the content that comes out of that. So that's how things get started. And you know, Justin was up on Molly's for quite a while. I think it's probably back towards the end of the Summer Wells case. I never watched it. I just vaguely remember it. So there's all kinds of people out there, right, Dale C. Moose Knuckles. There's all kinds of people out there who hold that against them. I think that's probably where it stems from. But as far as anything outwardly malicious, no, Justin does a good job. As far as I'm concerned, as long as you're pushing the right message in that sense, in a circumstance like this, you can't criticize them too much. But then there's another layer to it all, right? There's another layer that has to do with sharing links around live chats that, these individuals that follow these cases and get right into it and feel that they're of some importance through ignorance always think that a little bit of money is going to solve the problem, and raising funds to do whatever is somehow going to spread awareness. Such fucking bullshit, okay? It's, in my opinion, it's nonsense. There's no need to have a $25,000 reward. If you guys go and read it, and Dolly read it through it last night, it's bullshit. It's nonsense. Do what you want, but at the end of the day, it's an excuse for somebody to get $25,000 in their pocket, okay? And on top of that, float on all the attention to keep you giving you updates, pretending to be so much more and so important to this particular case. That's getting so far fucking away from the real actual message and the lessons in this situation. And it's a huge distraction. I don't agree with it at all. I have got no respect for it. All right? And I generally don't like to chum up with individuals who do. Don't associate me with any fucking links. Don't put them in my chat. Don't talk about them. Well, you can talk about them. But, encourage people to donate. You put a link out for anything in a situation like this, and people will feel obligated to contribute. And we've all had a long history in these cases of seeing people do this, and that's, it's not a big surprise. These are the idiots that come out of the woodwork. Oh, I promise, all of that $25,000 is going to go to printing flyers so they can go put them at some fucking place in Alberta. Right across the country. Get fucking real. Why don't you worry about your locale and where the bodies are buried? All of these people wanting to spread all this awareness because there's a missing child. Well, you keep this missing child and you fantasize this situation into something that it's not. Anybody with a fucking half a brain can see what's gone on here. And that's not putting pressure on anybody. It's not doing anybody any good. Why don't you call everybody in the phone book? Let them know about the situation. If it means that much to you. Come on. Running around and polluting people's windows in hopes that, you're really pushing this. The kids really wandered away in this circumstance. The kids didn't fucking wander away. Hence, there's real no use for any of these missing posters people like to put up. It's fucking bullshit. First of all, you can't make somebody interested in something that they're not interested in at any one point in time. There's a scenario where spreading the message might be good, but the time has come and passed. People are wanting to jump on and pretend to contribute to a scenario like this. How about talking about it in a respectable, honest manner? I should probably follow my own advice. Runs with scissors, hello. That's ridiculous. Malaya won't even talk. Well, trust me, she'll be talking sometime. The thing is that all there's a sect of creators that want to appeal to Malaya to come out and speak publicly and encourage her to do that. That's not going to fucking happen. I can't see that happening at all. You're just inviting the individual up to spread their false bullshit narrative in this circumstance. There's no possible way that these individuals are innocent of not bringing harm to those children in this circumstance. That's how they should be treated. Get fucked. Excuse the language. Isn't it obvious? Their children mysteriously vanished. They put blame back onto them. All the reports of abuse, and they still to this day want to keep that blame on the kids for getting themselves disappeared. That's never how it happens. The behavior is all you need to know. Daniel said he told one of the kids to be quiet because the baby was sleeping. Then he said he got up 20 minutes later because it was quiet. Where'd you hear that, Dale? Did he say that? Yeah, he says a lot. He's a difficult dude to quote because he says everything at any one time, at any point in time. Twists it, tweaks it. Oh, Daphne's case files. Could you do more concise research? Can you do your research a little bit more? Oh, God. It's so crazy. Nobody said there was a fundraiser for Malaya, sleuthy one. Nobody said that at all. I said people are talking about how it's an associate of Malaya running that particular GoFundMe. We all know what it's supposed to be for, but like I just went through, it's fucking nonsense. Bullshit. The fundraiser got canceled. Too much carry on? What do you mean, Gil? What does that mean? My point, sleuthy one, is if the individual who is running it, who is from Nova Scotia, knows Malaya Brooks in that circumstance, it's inappropriate. But you can do whatever you want. I don't care that much. But I'm sure not going to fucking push it. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk. Nini says it's for the children and someone being Malaya asks for half of the money. Cooper1234, yeah, you're on the right track. I don't know what you're saying there, but I heard the same thing too. Maybe I should pull up Dolly. The whole thing was it put a bad taste in my mouth in that circumstance. It's unnecessary at this point in time. But it happens every single case. It happens every single time. Belinda was talking about it. Yeah, Belinda, can you stop the bullshit with this? Now you got Belinda pushing it in this circumstance. So it's an insider's. It doesn't matter who is running it. It's inappropriate at this point in time. There's better things that you can do to contribute. Sleuthy one, they're all being canceled. Too much drama and opposition. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Look, if there's a legitimate reason, then that's different. But this is the carbon copy. Hey, I want to be the one to put up these things. We see it all the time, right? You probably do as well. This situation at this point in time isn't any different. Yeah, that was a little different, Slim. Yeah, Sweet Tea, you see it as well. You'd see it as well, excuse me. In Scotland, to carry on is drama and fighting. Oh, they're having a carry on in that sense. Gil, welcome in. Welcome in, Gil. It's still early here. Didn't Malaya call the school at 6 a.m. to tell the girl was sick and she was staying home, maybe? On the day they went missing? Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Dale. I think somewhere around, I don't know, they don't never tell you a real straight direct line, but somewhere around 6:18 or 6:30, probably people in here will probably know that better than I do if it's out there. But yeah, called the kids in sick, and they say the previous 2 days before that was a professional development day and another holiday. There's 2 days off school, not by their own choice, but scheduled off days. That's bizarre to me. Why would you have them in the middle of the week? It just makes it difficult on parents. It's silly. Wait till a Friday or a Monday. Give them a long weekend instead of chopping up the week. Could you see Daniel setting up a foundation, Slim Pickens? Slim, you think? That would be very bold. I'm sure he's always... Isn't everybody always open to accepting money? Of course. That should go without saying. Yeah, I'll take your money. Oh, it's for anything that you want to go to. Yeah, 618, 619, Gil. That's right, Sleuthy one. Daniel isn't related to the kids. He doesn't give a crap about anything but himself. Yeah, you're on the right track, Sleuthy one. You're speaking my language. I figured I'd start going live in the morning because I'm in such a better mood in the morning after having a couple coffees. I figure when I'm at 6 at 7, my cycles have changed so much after a long day of trading, and of course I'm tired at this. I'm emotionally drained, so going live, I found that I was more snarky. I found that I was more I was not even tempered in that sense with people. I didn't have the patience for everybody's opinion as I would first thing in the morning. I'm like, well, shit, I better get live again and apologize last night. I wasn't rude to people in that sense, but I wasn't as normally even tempered as I normally am. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I had little fucking time for anybody wanting to say that, like Monkey Mind last night. I didn't actually mean for you to leave my chat, but I'm like, fuck, if you're going to start coming in here and telling me that you're less suspicious about Daniel at this point, you can get the fuck out of my chat. That's actually, I do feel that way, but you know what? It's probably not good to alienate people in that way. I apologize to you, Monkey Mind. Sometimes I just say things because I say things. I don't actually mean don't come back in that sense. You can have that opinion, but it's so bizarre to me. But intriguing as well. It's intriguing, but when you've got your emotions and you start to get emotionally tied to this case, or any case, It's like you feel that you can't make a point, or people aren't seeing what it is that you're seeing. How could Wade's interview make people... I think I know what it is. I think people probably start to tune out when they've been... Like, for example, let's just take this case for example. When people started realizing over time, not very long period of time, that Durwood O'Grady wasn't a reliable source of information, that they want to then protect themselves and protect their psyches in that sense. So they put up a big psychological wall and they refuse to assess any of the information that comes their way. I think it's possible, but listen, they're two completely different individuals. If you went through what Durwood O'Grady was saying, and you could remember that experience and how bizarre the things were saying. He was really legitimately taking people advantage of people, but he was fucking up every statement. He really wasn't saying anything at any one point in time. You think he's saying it one way, but he screws up, whether it be an analogy, or he misspeaks, or he's indirect, or he says both things. Kind of what Daniel's doing in that sense. But, right from the get-go, how he introduced himself, Darren, is that, listen, I was so suspicious of Daniel. Heard him all about it, the Tim Hortons, about how he killed his kid. And then the more I got to know them, I don't believe that whatsoever. Like, do you really need to listen to more of that idiot Durwood O'Grady than that? Every one of these individuals are interested in their reputation ahead of where Jack and Lily have got at a point in time in this case where it makes no sense. They know what happened to those kids, and they're positioning themselves appropriately. Daniels, I believe, is out more of desperation at this point, because there's nothing that you can say at this point in time that's going to repair or fix his public persona, the perception of. That's ruined. But here on YouTube, it's a whole different beast. People will get close to him for whatever kind of reason. Not necessarily immoral, but it's just to get information. Because anything that Daniel says at any one point in time is of interest. They want to keep him talking. They want to hear more. They want to be lied to more in this circumstance. It gives people content, essentially. And really, Daniel's just feeding into that. He's not very good at it. He's not even a good troll. But, again, this is a different scenario. It's not just a troll. He's trying to mislead the public in that sense. He's not a caring father. The fact that the people that know him in his real life identify him as an abuser in every sense of the word, wouldn't all of a sudden, we haven't had that conversation yet, but I'm sure that's going to be coming up in the future about essay in this circumstance. I think probably, all you can really do is mention the probability of it at this point, but getting into it and speculating even further would probably be disrespectful to Jack and Lily. That's not what I'm trying to do with that statement. But my point is why would the abuse just stop at physical when we know that the substances and those around him were abusing it? So they would just invite that sort of lifestyle into their immediate. And that would, in turn, and resulted in their demise, the destruction of those children. Anyway. Gil Mitchell, hold on, let me come back into this. I got to switch out all kinds of screens because my Streamlabs didn't update, so I don't get my chat all in one place. I've got to go all over the place this morning. Yeah, Slim. I mean, you're talking... Where did I see that? Holy crap. Let me pull that back up. Slim says, I do hope Wade's conversation with Taint was the same as his RCMP interviews. The kids were at his home 12 days before they went missing. That would be an Easter. What are you saying? Easter Monday? Yeah. Well, for the sake of this conversation, it's, of course that's important, but I would have to say that the one thing that you could bet is that he's told the RCMP these stories, these suspicions. He's not going to withhold any information. You remember when Dermot O'Grady told everybody that he wasn't even going to tell the RCMP any more of the information that he has? Oh, God, what a douche. That guy. Case reminds me of the Dior Kuntz case. How so, Aaron? That's true, Sweet Tea. We don't really know anybody's intentions. True intentions at first, excuse me. Yes, Sleuthy One, I don't know what his I think he's probably an association or an associate of Daniel's on some level. He was overwhelmed by, who knows, I don't trust anything that comes from that side. Nothing. Derwood probably got a freebie. What, a free gram of the shake and bake? He's probably friends with the family, and he's doing them a solid. And that was what was making him so nervous, because there's no fucking possible way that you could meet this family and think that they're not guilty in this circumstance. It's ridiculous. Drippy, what are you talking about up there? It will be interesting to see what Malaya has to say through IACS today. IACS, what is that? Oh, it's a criming shame. Holy, I'm thick this morning. Holy shit. Okay, I get what you're saying. Has Malaya been talking to them? Do you think it's going to really be that interesting? I think it's just going to be a line of shit. And it'll be presented to you in a way it's got to be so important because Malaya spoke up. Well, I guess it kind of is. You got to give him that. Yeah, I guess. Guys, let me know what she said. Luminous 2.0, his girlfriend is brainwashed by him. She blocked me. Who are you speaking of? Do I think Malaya will go on It's a Criming Shame? Don't know. Maybe. They're going to take it up a notch. They're going to start fighting online and causing all kinds of distraction drama. First question I want to know about is like the 100 bags of dirty diapers in the basement. We know what goes along with that. Malaya, are you okay? Oh dear, why don't you come up and lie to us? Was she going to come up and say what she told the fucking RCMP? She's going to try to maintain this narrative that the kids really walked away into those woods at this point in time. Disgusting. Yeah, they're called the RCMP, Needy. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's who's working this case. So anywhere outside of like a place like Ontario where I am, where there's provincial police, Ontario Provincial Police, the RCMP still work here, but specifically on a federal level. For example, they're involved in missing persons, every single murder. They're an added investigation upon things. There's a lot of problems with them. It's like there's a lot of problems with the FBI and the people who abuse their power. And of course, when there's any problems, they get to investigate themselves in that circumstance. Yeah. But they still don't like being lied to. The RCMP is tied to this globalist agenda as well in that circumstance. Hey, Nanya. Hey, Sweet Sativa. Slim, I was wondering how many could be slinging the rugs for Daniel or bartending for the rugs. I don't think it's that big. It's more likely that he's just cooking for himself and, shopping it around, trying to get all his associates addicted. Think about, he's probably not the most popular individual. People don't tend to like people like that. You're coming around trying to hook all of your friends on your fucking nasty rugs. Okay? It's not just smoking weed. Whatever makes you feel important. You're walking around openly ruining people's lives, Daniel. Fucking moron. I've got zero respect for that piece of shit. Malaya contacted Sonny last night. You say, Drippy? I know at the last it has to do with the Fundraiser, which got cancelled due to drama. Well, they already made a few $100 off it. Oh, my bad. Sorry, my mistake. Well, Sonny's about to become public enemy number 1. Hey, Karen. Oh, Karen's fucking stalking me, y'all. Karen sent me a message this morning. I read it on my mobile when I was out walking. I didn't get to read it all. I got to go back and finish it. Karen, you're in here stalking me, girl. Daniel's front yard looked to have a rug bartending system going on, like a drive-through. Oh shit. Maybe. See, there's always going to be somebody for Daniel to peddle his math to. Well, all he's doing is scooping people into a real system of slavery and control and abuse. Every angle there's abuse in this circumstance, and there's no getting away from that. Because you can't say that sort of stuff here on YouTube, Karen, and keep your monetization. It's not family friendly. So you've got to find new words to associate to what it is that you're talking about with certain things. It's annoying. Black Opal. It's interesting and super sad. Malaya decides to begin communicating when dollars come into play. Well, of course, she's got just wave like a prepaid credit card in front of her. Here, this prepaid credit card is all yours with a balance of absolutely nothing. Oh, there's money. Oh, yes. Well, of course, she'll be advertising to everybody who feels sorry for her. Guys, I could really use, she'll be up here e-begging. That's the whole point. No, CSIS is an intelligence network. It's different than the FBI isn't. Susan Ellis, you got a different understanding. RCMP is our FBI. It'll be the closest thing, not CSIS. There's a lot of intelligence networks way ahead of above the FBI. The FBI is an internal investigation, among other things, and it's abused for other things as well. Aaron Smith, York Kuntz. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that story. Yeah, Pauline B., thank you very much. Get that DNA on the like button. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. God damn you. Say what you will about Sunny. She's great at getting scoops. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You can put yourself in this position. You can position yourself for it. But again, we've all had experience to that. It might impress people out there in YouTube land because they don't know how it works. It doesn't impress me. But she can do what she wants. She's into this story. She's got a good handle on it. She's got a good base of people who watched her since the beginning. So, she's got to think of the next thing, right? I know why Sonny would appeal to her. Absolutely. Because Sonny's there to be taken advantage of, to be lied to. And she's okay with that. I don't think she necessarily believes anything, but, you're creating that sort of environment, which is not a bad thing to say against her. It is what it is. As long as you're making the right decisions. I don't know, One Feather. I don't know why they haven't been charged with neglect in that sense. Why isn't any parent to a degree? There's probably bigger fish to fry at this point in time for the authorities. Not saying that it won't be included in everything, right? You would have to expect it is. See what you will about... Oh, I read that already. Good morning. Why haven't they been... Okay, where am I... I don't understand why Drippy thought side. I wouldn't trust her for a second. People... It's not a Sunny thing. It just goes along with it, right? It just goes along with it. You think Cindy's boyfriend video was his way of getting his side heard without talking to the media? Well, that's what happened, Gil. For them as a family, it's got to be emotions bottled up inside. So anybody who's bringing up the situation, this Wade, he was more than willing to have in-depth conversations about it. They were probably already conversing about it up to that point. Their perspective is very important in all of this. And think about how different their perspective is from what you got from Janie. It's like night and day. The complete opposite. Oh, such fantastic stand-up citizens. I think Nana Belinda realizes now social media has made this tragic situation into a circus. I don't know, Esther. The situation is a goddamn circus. It doesn't have anything to do with social media. This situation is already a fucking tragedy. And people talking about it online isn't going to ruin anything. It's not going to make it any worse. The people who are suspects and involved in the situation come and manipulate the people on social media. Okay, that's not social media's problem. That is the people who utilize social media. There's a lot of rhetoric surrounding it that sticks in people that they just want to throw their hands up when they don't have any answers and blame social media for making something a circus. That makes no sense. Because it's not so. What, don't you know what e-begging is, Cooper? You never heard that term before? Oh shit, that's common. That's old school at this point. Yeah, I'm not co-authoring a book, Karen. That's crazy talk at this point. No, Drippy, well, I guess in a way you're not wrong. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. A person who put up a fundraiser like that has no experience or no fucking understanding about this situation and what it is that they're about to do. The bad decision was even putting the fundraiser up in the first place. Ignorance in this circumstance is no excuse. From a bunch of virtue signaling losers who want to make it look like they're actually doing something positive to contribute to finding Jack and Lily. We all want to find Jack and Lily. We want to know where these kids are. There's one thing of satisfying your curiosity. There's another thing in bringing justice in a situation where I'd say most people don't recognize the writing on the wall because they're too distracted with whatever the fuck the latest is, the bullshit lines that came out of the parents or the people who are supposed to be parental role models in that circumstance. That happens every single time. That's why it's never a good goddamn idea. Okay? Everybody has good intentions, you would expect. But listen, you are ignorant of the environment. Malaya knows where to get that money from. She knows, Sonny's probably your best bet. She'll work her over a little bit. But in reality, you're limiting yourself as a creator when you take on these particular escapades, we'll call them. So you've got yourself a website, and you have all of these good intentions in the circumstance. Well, in the long run, it's going to be to your detriment because it's not good for your mental health. And you'll find that out soon enough. Or it just becomes disingenuous. People are already complaining about that. But listen, I like information just as much as the next guy. So what you're going to do? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, from her perspective as a content creator. So I say, as long as you have the right attitude, go ahead and do it. But it's not always about the creator's attitude. It's about the attitude that forms in the live chats and through the viewership. And Teresa, this beach thing, I'm not going to stand up for Malaya in any means, but it doesn't bother me that this individual is at the beach. Like when you live by a lake or you live by the ocean or you live by water, it's no different than just going to the park, trying to get some fresh air. Talking about her going to the beach every day. Think about the reaction from people. People associate, they're just associating the beach with some sort of, relaxing holiday and all of that in that sense, when in fact it's really just a part of a person's lifestyle. You're going to get mad at them for breathing the air? Like you could. Especially, there's a lot of reasons to get mad at her for. But it's just people taking things and making them out to be something it's not. But they all have a point. They're mad at her because the point that they're mad about is, why are you at the beach when you've got missing children? Well, there's an answer to that. You can't be doing one thing for too much, but it doesn't look very good. The real reason it doesn't look good is that your friend posted it on social media. Okay? Making that post with you two at the beach in social media was trying to get, some sort of positive affirmation from a bunch of random strangers on the internet. And that shows a lot more about the immaturity of your mindset in this circumstance than anything else. Who's Lana, Sleuthy One? Like, there's answers to all of these questions. There's answers to everything that Malaya has chosen to do in this circumstance. People are forming their opinions off of stuff that isn't going to be 100% accurate because they've put it together in their own minds. Like, they're human beings at the end of the day, but they're also human beings that have destroyed their body and their psyche with substances for an extended period of time. They need help. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't be held accountable for what has happened to Jack and Lily, because we know what goes along every single time when we're in situations like this. You think this time is any fucking different? Those children are missing and gone. No sign of them, which is evidence in of itself. Oh, they walked out and the dogs can't even smell their trail? That's a little suspicious. Crime Science, good to see you. Welcome in. Fuck, get it over with, you idiots. You're never going to change. You're not going to get away with this. You need to repent. You need to ask for forgiveness. You need to come clean, but they don't. That's not in their psyche. You can encourage them to do the right thing, the Christian thing in this sense. Eventually, you would think somebody's going to be talking, but listen, it shouldn't be directing the investigation. And people are allowed to make mistakes in this circumstance, not the cops, mind you, but I mean, people that have taken interest in the case. and want to help in that circumstance, because everybody has that initial feeling. And when you've got 500-600 people, 1,000 people in your live chat, and the majority of them feel that way, listen, that's the best place to be dropping your payment links. Well, Malaya will be surrounding herself by people who are sympathetic to her. Absolutely. You have to expect that. But, what she's done here is she's made a major mistake. And it's probably just not one small thing, but a series of unfortunate decisions that led to the children's demise. What the fuck was going on? Why didn't you leave in December? Things weren't good in this environment for her children. You really don't care for Sonny's high and mighty attitude about talking to Malaya? Well, what are you saying? You guys are putting thoughts in my mind. Now I'm going to be sarcastic as hell. I'm trying to... Listen, she's got to make it exciting for you guys. She's got to put herself in a position of delivering information. And in a circumstance like this, it's difficult. It's tough. Yeah, you got the right idea, Drippy. I think the fundraiser is premature. Absolutely, fucking right. Especially when you don't know anything that's happened yet. Like if the kids are found and they had special needs, okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a reason for it. And there's none of this donate me your money now and we'll figure out something good to do with it later. That'll be the next thing with it. Oh, don't do that. Don't even get involved in that shit. Save your money, friends. Yeah, the beach isn't totally Casey Anthony level. No, there are human beings behind these faces that we don't get to hear from. Even Daniel's probably got some sort of humanity in him at some point, but it's going to be hard to identify at this level. There's going to be, just because we talk about Malaya being controlled in this circumstance doesn't make us defending Malaya. That just goes along with the abuse, the substances. It goes without saying. Okay? Daniel's the cook. Daniel's the one that's distributing. Daniel's the one that's keeping Malaya down and turning around and putting the blame back on her for not being able to take her drugs and maintain a healthy household with mother's little helper, homemade. Get the frick out of here, dude. He knows exactly the effects of these substances on people. It's a hot seller. If you can keep it going. Short note, Carrie, you're not sympathetic at all? Well, I'm trying to mention sympathetic just so it looks like I'm not such an asshole this morning. Everything about the situation is concerning Kelly O'Neill. Good to see you. Yeah. Yep, it is. Right down from the investigation. It's almost like I don't want to start because I don't want to start panicking in my mind. When you don't hear anything, it's easy to think that nobody's doing anything. Yeah, that's true, One Feather. The beach has to do with a normal mother wouldn't be having fun moving in on life. Well, I'm saying that it's not necessarily going there to have fun, but healing, getting out and getting in the sunshine and pure human physiological health benefits rather than spending your time inside. But you bring up a good point. A person whose children just disappeared will probably be in mourning and not be seen. That would be a normal, typical reaction. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a tough one. I just don't personally hold it against her. For all I know, she's staying at staying on the beach for all I know. Kelly O'Neill, she's heavy on the trauma. Who are you talking about? Sunny? Oh, yeah, she's... Oh, Jesus. I don't know that she is. I don't know her, though. I don't know them. Yeah, but I don't know that... I guess... Teresa, you're saying the drama takes away from the seriousness of the situation? Yeah, I don't know. It's a fairly general statement. Like, what drama, really? You know, that's all in it's subjective, really, to a degree. I'm not even interested on hearing what she has to say. Like, I don't expect her to be honest in the first place. So it's going to be another series of days with talking about whatever Sunny said or whatever Malaya bullshitted about on her live stream. And then it's going to confuse people in the audience, and there's going to be days of talking people down, and they come to realization that they don't believe her or they do believe her. And, people will become divided. Big news, Malaya came out and said that Daniel's story isn't true. Is that a big surprise? Oh, she's confirmed that it's a lie. Look, they've been admitting to you all along that they've been lying. Therefore, you don't wait for the next set of information. You've got to... It's a good thing when you're looking for direction in a case. That bullshit. But yeah, it does, I guess. It can. I think she was doing math and didn't want Daniel to tell anybody. He's definitely got something over her, and she would be talking about him. Yeah, so this control, this control just doesn't stop when she leaves. Like, she's been properly brainwashed, conditioned. Especially, she's been knocked up, brainwashed, abused, conditioned. Think about the effects of trauma-based mind control. Okay, well studied. Especially including that substance, which exacerbates the effect of the control upon Malaya. She's still being controlled by him, all right? And she doesn't want to tell everybody or admit to any of that, let alone really recognize or understand it. What do you think all those MK Ultra experiments were about? Trauma-based mind control. Not only about, but... It doesn't take long to see who is honest and who stays consistent on the YTs. Yeah, Sweet Tea, you're right. Karen Jones, how do we know about the popcorn? I missed that. Where are you, Karen? Popcorn. Malaya fed the kids popcorn for supper and didn't even pop it. Get the fuck out of here. You coming up in here? How do you know that? Or is that me react? Or is that just you... like insulting Malaya in that sense, and we're reading it differently? Fuck, man, why do you do this to me? Shit, you're making it look like I'm sticking up for her. How the fuck do you know that in that sense? Yeah, if that turns out to be true, I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be questioned. Like, I guess I should... Because I'm not everywhere hearing all of the information, there's probably answers to all of this. That's really... Here, have some dried kernels of corn that you can't even crunch through. Like, what nutritional value are in those seeds? Come on. There'll be some, but seeds are usually poisonous in that sense. I don't think you'd probably get sick from eating popcorn seeds, though. Mom fed them popcorn for supper. That would be just an admission of... Don't even get me started. You got my imagination working. Get the hell out of here. How do you know... where did you come up with that, Karen? Did you just make that up? Drippy, listen... You might want to know that, but don't think Malaya is going to tell you all of this nonsense. They've lied to the RCMP, so they're going to come out and talk about anything that they told the RCMP. The same story. If she wanted to be open up and talk truthful, the last thing that you'd want to do is come up on YouTube and have an open-hearted conversation. What do you think she's going to get out of that? What would you get out of it? Nothing. Go talk to the cops. Go talk to a therapist. In my mind, that ship sailed a long time ago. The suspicion is already there. It's not going to change any from anything that she says. How many more people are going to betray Belinda? Flightners, what's going on? How many more people are going to betray Belinda? This is sad. Now crying shame wants to play Malaya's games. Obviously, people need to learn about their jobs. So you guys aren't really happy about this. What, you think that it's better that she doesn't? I think it's absolutely pretentious and ridiculous that she is going to come out and speak against whatever public narrative there is. These are just games to play in order to save themselves from looking as guilty and suspicious. And it's an easy game to play with a bunch of thirsty people who are eager for information at all times, right? I don't necessarily hold it against her. So even Dolly is appealing to that as well. They're probably trying to put pressure on her to come out in that circumstance. Do you know, there is something to be said about that, because in a circumstance like this, anything that you say from the investigator's standpoint can be used against you. So why wouldn't you then encourage her to come out and say whatever, in spite of your own feelings? I think that's probably more of the mindset. I can understand that. I think just people are emotional. It's not that you're not right. You have a right to feel however you want about that, and you're not wrong. It's just an opinion, right? Gamma, God bless you. Thank you very much for that $10 super chat. Good morning. Hi, Charity. She's already in and out, eating breakfast 3 different times already. She's eaten my breakfast this morning. We've had yogurts, 4 peaches, cheese, and rice. Peaches are in season up here, so they're like dirt cheap at the grocery store. Oh, and plums. We're doing it. Good things grow here in Ontario. How many more people are going to betray Belinda? That's a powerful statement, Flightners. I think they'll probably go with their motivation above everything is Lilly and Jack. And the more transparent they are, the better. I think that's the theory that they're kind of sticking with, probably. And I guess in theory, that's right. They're right. What can you say against it? The problem is that it's a distraction away from the suspicion. So it seems like they're doing it probably for their own gain. That's just what people feel. I don't know if people are right in this. Because wouldn't you think that no matter how you felt about the situation, you want to hear somebody's input? I don't know. I'm just thinking in my mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixed about it. How is she playing Malaya's games? Do you feel, Flightners? I haven't been following it, so you guys are probably ahead of me to a degree. Black Opal's been nothing but lies thus far by all of them. Absolutely. Don't expect that to ever stop. Yeah, Drippy, I don't think that she's... they're going to have all of these legitimate questions for Malaya. And people are fooled again. You're expecting that this person is going to give you a truthful answer. What are people expecting to get out of it? I don't know. As soon as she left, they put the blame on her. We would be getting a whole different story if she was still there, in your opinion. I'm a Suns fan. That's a good possibility. I get it. That's one for the other side. I guess that is a point, because it's interesting considering the bullshit that Daniel has spewed out, to hear Malaya's input. I mean, on one hand, we're upset because she's not out there. Or are we really upset that this isn't a legitimate missing child's case? What are we upset about? They're upset about her not acting like a concerned parent. That's because she knows what happened to the kids. Even her own family are talking about it. She's got a long history of lies and deception to even get herself in this position. And she's still trying to get out of it by ignoring it. Canadian veteran TDV, yes, coercive control is totally traumatic. It takes incredible healing to break free of. Well, believe me, it just goes without saying with the substances. Teresa, I stand behind Belinda as a grandmother myself. I get her. She's trying to find the truth and where they are. Yeah, she's in a position where she can do that. I'm not pro or con. She can do whatever she wants. God, you guys have some good points, though. I do think there's a possibility M's messages were twisted, just a possibility. The way worded, it almost sounds like somebody suggested the money go to her, and she said no, but to Cheryl. I don't know. Somebody's talking about putting half the money in one of Malaya's friends' accounts. Yeah. I have a problem with this fundraiser. There's a legitimate problem with it when you've got Malaya talking about the fundraiser and her friend's bank account and putting portions of the money in it. So Malaya is more interested in coming around, making it, trying to garner some sort of sympathy in this circumstance. You got a long way ahead of you, girl. Ginger Girl's, she's stuck in it in the denial stage of grief and needs serious therapy. I agree with you on that one. I don't know whether or not therapy is going to help her. She needs to sober up and dry out for months ahead of time before she even talks about therapy. And whether she's able to do that, that's the first step. I don't give a shit about therapy at this point. Right now, she's a lying, conniving, evil individual. Yeah, I like statement analysis too, Cooper. I was a big fan of Peter Hyatt. But in a circumstance like this, analyzing certain statements are just a shtick and just for show to create content. And it's good content in that sense because it's something that's truthful and sticks. But when you're constantly being given the runaround by people who are blatantly lying, you don't need to break down the fucking statements in order to try to look for clues. You know that you're being lied to already. And you don't expect to get the answers from the person who's lying to you right in that moment. You got to start building your case against them. If RCMP can't get her to talk, excuse me, flight nurse, if RCMP can't get her to talk with training, I guarantee non-trained emotions is not going to a confession ability to find Lily and Jack. Crying shame seems to flip-flop on the daily, in your opinion. I don't watch her that closely to have noticed. Trying to make it interesting for people. If you're always trying to, I won't even take that up. Your point's taken, flight nurse. I don't know her well enough. The moment the cops charge Daniel, a lot of their investigative hands are tied. So no, they're not going to risk that on lower impact charges. Well, considering what it is that we're looking at, there's got to be some sort of method to the madness behind there. And it has to be the fact that they're like the whole thing's a lie and deception, so it's going to take a little bit longer in that sense. Sadly. But you have to do it properly. It takes you time. You're going to have to do that. Black Opal, yes, therapy can help her accept the truth. Well, she doesn't need therapy at this fucking point in time. She needs to sober the hell up. Like months. What protest are you speaking of, Cooper? Does anyone know how the protest went today or yesterday? What protest are you talking about? Teresa MND, zero access to any money. Donate it to the searchers now. Esther, Karen Jones, Daniel is a narcissist. They don't love anyone but themselves anymore. Can see that by now. That's just a label. That's just of course, everybody's got a bit of that in them, Esther. But you could go far beyond that. Just with knowing what he's into and what he's doing. He's got a need to lie. Flight nurse, it's not about a confession at all. It's about the fundraiser. So, you're telling me, Sleuthy One, that Sonny's over there wanting Malaya up there and to push this fundraiser at the same time. That was the initial motivation. Oh, fuck. Sonny will be public enemy number one. You'll give every reason for people to make content about you, Sonny, and how much of a fucking sketch artist you are, if that was true. Is that what you're saying to me? I'm scared to go over and get upset. I don't want to get upset about it. Can I ask if Dolly has ever found a missing child? To me, he's an e-beggar, but I could be wrong. No, he's embraced this genre in a way that makes it look okay to be pushing fundraisers on the backs of vulnerable missing children. I get it. You want to put yourself around a bunch of people who are like-minded and you want to raise funds. Yeah, listen. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. When you start to incorporate fundraisers, I am not about that. However, if you want to raise money from your audience to go somewhere, like Dolly raises money to go and take a trip, and you have his eager subscribers donate and get him fuel and hotel stays to go down and bring them better content. Okay, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. That's different. That's not e-begging. E-begging is usually associated with just going live and asking people for money because you're lazy in that sense. But Gemini, are you saying that he utilizes all of the rhetoric to play on people's emotions? I think that's probably somewhat true, but these are just sales gimmicks. You guys should already know that. Buyer beware. But I don't necessarily think he's pushing. I may be wrong on that one. Yeah, you have a right to feel however you want about it. I'm used to it. I'm too normalized to it. There's no fucking possible way anybody should be flip-flopping at this point in time between whatever. Pretending you think that you know more than really is unnecessary. You've got all of the elements And they still want you to think that the kids just magically walked out the door after everything that they've admitted to online. They act suspicious. They piss in your ear and tell you it's raining. Flip-flopping as new information coming in is not a bad thing. I take that over some of these cult-like followers of Daniel who disregard any new info that doesn't provide confirmation bias. Listen, they're in a situation where they have to lie. If you're I guess there's always going to be people who give them the benefit of the doubt and want to take that line, and that's probably the most annoying part of these communities. But you find that you can't convince them. They are there for not the right reasons. They're there for more attention to themselves, or because they dislike what other creators are saying on their channels. They have bad taste in their mouth. There's a lot of people who are funny like that, we'll say. But who are you saying is flip-flopping, Drippy? I don't know about that, Cooper. I don't know that there was a protest. I never heard of it. You think that there'd be something said about it? I don't know what you're trying to say with that, Ginger Girl's mom. In my opinion, the fundraiser is a non-issue because it should not have been started by a non-family member. It's too many negatives for that to make sense in my mind. I don't know what it is that you're saying. The fundraiser's a non-issue. It shouldn't be out there in the fucking first place. It goes to show you that somebody out there is a complete fucking moron. Whoever started that, whoever's idea it was to start that, is a fucking moron. Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. Doesn't matter what their intentions are. They're the one who are narcissists, okay? All these people wanting to pretend that they're offering up money, all of these all that is to make it look to your viewers who are probably so consumed with your content and thinking that they're so self-important. I don't like that part of human nature in this circumstance. It's part of the process of taking advantage of people's vulnerable minds. You're not being realistic with individuals or people. The last thing I want to talk to is a fucking child killer. And it's not for me to prove that they're not. You prove to me that you're not a child killer in this circumstance. And your word isn't going to fucking do it, unfortunately, at this point in time. There should be so much information rolling out. There should be so much information rolling out on this. It's disgusting. There's no need for any secrecy. But you're constantly being told that I need to be secretive so I don't jeopardize the investigation. It's between me and Special Investigations Unit. Stop trying to make yourself look better than you are in this circumstance. The law doesn't work like that. People who believe that shit are lazy thinkers. Users are master manipulators. Do you know who else are master manipulators, Anne-Marie? Anybody who starts to take methamphetamine for a little while. Anybody who are on hard substances. But I don't mind Gemini. Like Dolly, as long as you're talking about the right things the right way, I'm fairly simple. I'm cool. I'm cool with whatever you want to do. If you want to go raise money for whatever within your own group, that's fine. But you get a $25,000 fucking GoFundMe going, it just shows how pretentious and ill-informed you are. Ignorant to the situation at hand. You're not taking it very seriously if you're concerned about spreading awareness. Like, what a generalization. That's such fucking bullshit. Who are you? That's what the newspaper's for. Gemini, I respect Dolly for actually being on site with search equipment. Yeah, Slim, Dolly does good shit like that. He makes it interesting in the right ways. Cooper, you're saying you think it was more of a child services handling of things? Well, I don't know what you're talking about this protest. I don't believe that there was. Why are they fucking protesting child services on a Sunday when there's nobody's at work anyway? You're on the right track now, Esther. Like, Belinda's a vulnerable mind at this point in time. She needs to be protected from individuals, but she's an adult. You're saying Nana Belinda has been manipulated and is very vulnerable in her grief. She believes it's all a circus. Well, she's participating in it, so you can only say so much. Yeah, you're right, Slim. A lot of creators won't leave their homes, but e-beg way worse. That's true. I don't consider Dolly to be an e-beggar in that sense. People who are mad at Dolly always say that, though. I get change of facts, but where are the facts that cause the change of opinion? Well, it depends how you identify what a fact really is in this circumstance. It's very difficult for a person to be in out here in YouTube land and start talking about at this point in time what's fact and what's not. Who cares about what's fact and what's not at this point in time? What are the gossip? What are the rumors? There's where your information is. And wouldn't you know it in this circumstance, the gossip and rumors early on stuck with all of this and were corroborated by individuals that knew them, meaning the drug use, the abuse. These are strong things to say, and they weren't brought out by either one of the parents in this sense. I don't know. That might be your own personal persona, Karen Jones. I think they're mentioning Sunny flip-flopping or seeming to. I don't know if that she is, actually. Like, now that I know more about the circumstances through Wade, I feel different about how I felt about Malaya beforehand based on different things. It's not less sympathetic or more sympathetic. It's just knowing more of the facts. I feel sorry for anybody who are being, manipulated behind the scenes and addicted to the substances that they are. And that's not allegedly. These people are fucking drug addicts, full-fledged. Yeah, you're right, Drippy. Gemini. Oh, that can come across like, so there's a I think Sunny, you want to portray it. It sounds weird because you're trying to portray something that people are emotionally connected to in certain ways that are somewhat unbiased. And when you have to mention all of these things to an audience all the time, it seems contradictory. So really, when you're following the rules of what would otherwise be how popular creators create live streams that are engaging for people to watch, I think a lot gets misinterpreted with Sunny and all of that. I think she's just trying to do her best in making an entertaining live stream that's engaging. which isn't really easy to do in a lot of these circumstances, especially when it's the reality behind it all is so morbid and dark. Oh, short note, Carrie, the funds mean nothing to you. That's because it's not your money. It's still something that's inappropriate and wrong to fucking do in these circumstances. And I'm proud of people for standing out or standing up and mentioning that. Good for people. Good on them for taking it down. You're still at the home trailer? I've never left, as RCMP have told us everything we need to know, my opinion. Most logical explanation with 2 children is party favors accident. Flight nurse, you're fucking living in a Hollywood dream. A party favors accident. You think that somebody who's addicted to drugs leaves their stuff out for kids to get into and then they accidentally overdose, die, and get... No. When you have drugs and abuse and physical abuse in the household already, you know the next step in escalation is going to be murder. Okay? Sinister. The only reason to lie to that degree is to cover up your own culpability in whatever harm was brought to those children. I think, flight nurse, it's probably where your imagination ends. That's not a spite against you. But that doesn't hold any weight. So where are the crimes? No, there's a reason that they need to shut up. There's a reason why they acted the way that they did. And that's to cover up their own wrongdoing in hopes that people buy their story in the long run. Because it's their only hope. One moment. Just wait. Oh, hold on. You want this? Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. Let me see. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible in this circumstance. I feel it's not very likely. That's all. It doesn't account for the reasoning and the rationale. If they got into substances, you get them to the hospital. You don't just sell them out and bury them alive and never see them again. There's intent there. Okay. It's just, but I understand your mind simplifying things. You're half right. You're almost right, but your mind is summing it up. Maybe you don't want to. What's going on with my stream? My stream's not choppy, is it? It's telling me that it's a low bit rate for whatever reason. Hold on, let me close some things. Hold on. Gotta close things up here. Pardon me. There we go. Let me scroll back up. So I'll scroll down and start my way back up. Ginger girls, Canadian. Hold on. Where is this? I noticed that. What was that in Daphne's? Oh, I think that was a title in Daphne's case files. Talking about the dog biting Lilly. Where did you guys hear that? Where did I leave off? No, Karen Jones, calling people narcissists is really a label people out there It's a bad habit people put on people. That's some sort of answer to why they have done something wrong or acting suspicious or doing this. No. You're actually helping that person out by just labeling him a narcissist and blaming that behavior on this weird label. No. There might be covert narcissism involved in certain actions of their behavior, but it's not a label just to go and put on something to answer and be the result or be the answer to whatever shitty action that individual did. No, it's just a label, and it's an excuse for the actual behavior behind and the reasoning behind whatever actions that individual took. I'm starting to really dislike that word. You guys should too. Cooper AB, please don't swear at me, AB. Fuck yourself. Someone mentioned it yesterday and I was just trying to follow up and see if it happened. Oh, okay, Cooper. You're talking about the protest? I'm not swearing at you. I apologize if I... Did I? Son of a bitch. There you go again. I apologize. I understand, Drippy. It was Sebastian's case that pulled me into the true crime. It's good that people get sucked into these cases. It's in that sense. People need to care about these scenarios and recognize the signs. Not like it's going to change anything, but you get a good lesson in human behavior at the end of it. I really like the idea of buddy benches in their names at school. Actually, I like that idea too, Truth of Beauty. I did like that idea. But really, that's something that's a good idea, but there's a big difference between having a good idea and then going and raising money for that good idea. All right? Like, for example, that's something that you could bring up with the municipality and have the municipality pay for it. The problem comes in is that it's an excuse to share a link, an excuse to raise money. That only benefits one person, and that's the person raising the fucking money at the end of it, no matter how much they've got you convinced it's for this, it's for that. It is still inappropriate, even though it's a good idea. A private jet's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? Hell. It's just part of the complication when you want to put yourself in a place of fundraising. It's not going to stand up to scrutiny. It's not legit. And it only benefits one person. That's the person holding that cash. All right? Believe me, I'll be buying the paper that's on sale. I want to be in control. I want to control the money. I want to be the treasurer. All these people want to assume all of these different roles to pretend that they're so much more important in the front of people who are on YouTube watching. Now that's fucking narcissism. But it's still just a label, right? You're surprised that 250,000 hasn't been grabbed. What do you mean? What's 250 grand? You talking about the $150,000 that they put up for any information leading to the whereabouts? It never works, short note, Carrie. It never works. All that really does is takes away the rumor of the kids being with some other family and being rehomed. Like they would prefer you to believe. Oh, it has a happy ending. No, this doesn't have a fucking happy ending. And people don't even need to go that far when you know that there's abuse of every type in that household, neglect, everything else. You don't need to go there. The answers are right there. And what are the buddy benches going to remind people about in the end? About how these two children were brutally murdered by their addicted parents? It's kind of turning them into something different in that circumstance. You know, there's no good answer. There's no good end to this. This is a part of life that really fucking sucks. But you'll come to learn what people usually do is just stay silent about it because they don't want to think about it. So you think it's a good thing to, you know, people will do what they do. I'm not for or against it. I do like the buddy bench idea, though. I do kind of like that. But it doesn't mean I'm for getting all of you people to pay for it. If people want to do that, that's their prerogative. Belinda was crying and she said it's the only connection she has now on social media for Lily and Jack. Do you know what? Who's posting that shit? I'm getting that through you, though. I haven't seen it. Seems a bit pretentious. I do need a helicopter. You'd never catch me in a helicopter. I do want one of those little black flies, though. Those personal, those flying little contraptions. They're pulling heartstrings in marketing the missing children with this fundraiser. Absolutely, Ginger Snaps. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing, no matter what your intent is. That's the problem with all of this. It doesn't help. It doesn't, all it does is makes a bunch of people feel that they've done something positive in this circumstance. It doesn't do anything. It's not actually a positive thing, in my opinion. What? School honestly seems to be their only piece. Charmaine, I think, is her name. Crying shame, and one other, Sunny, said she could make a buddy bench. We just need to pay shipping. Get fucked. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. That she could make it and people just need to ship it out there. Yeah. What's going to happen when somebody fucking burns it down or smashes it? See, the whole... In my mind, the whole thing is just for a bunch of fucking idiots to make themselves look better and be even more attached to this case. It's inappropriate. No, well, that's you, Shirley Guerin. You feel really bad for Belinda. She's the only one trying to find her grandchildren. I think you're ignorant. I think that's an absolutely ignorant statement. Oh, she's the only one out here. You know, you want to try to drop the fucking PayPal link? You want to try to drop that GoFundMe link here? Is that what you're here for? Get the hell out of here. She's not the only one trying to find her grandchildren. She was that fucking concerned about the abuse, she would be fighting for them still. I mean, I can feel a little bit of sympathy for her, but listen. Only to a degree. This is the only thing that she has. So she's telling you that her association to It's a Criming Shame channel and what they do over there and how they talk about it is her only link left to Jack and Lily. That's disgusting. Right. Teresa, buddy benches are great, but we haven't found Jack and Lily. That should be after the fact when we know from the RCMP. Thank you very much. That's a solid point. Then it would be more appropriate. Right now, people should be more concerned about finding them personally and justice. I don't know why people are so... I don't know why you guys are so eager to be donating things in memory of this, to make it like these for what? I'll never figure people out like that. Drippy, yeah, I wasn't keen on giving the kids at school those bracelets and voice my opinion. Giving kids at school bracelets at this point in time, that fucking is so inappropriate at this point in time. So you're interfering in a bunch of children, wanting them to wear bracelets in memory of Jack and Lily in this circumstance at this point? A reminder of how degenerate their lifestyles were at this point in time before we know anything? Way too early in this circumstance. Whoever's idea that was has rocks in their head. Holy shit. I would fucking be out of that live stream so quick I couldn't even go through that conversation. These are ideas from a bunch of virtue signaling nobodies who want to find their importance through dead and missing children. Don't fucking get them involved when I go missing. What about us? No, I think it's the dumbest fucking idea ever at this point in time. I'm not mad at you though, Drippy. So the cops, you're saying, Karen, are just waiting for bodies before they do anything? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know, that's people talking out here because it's easier for people to sum up what the hell's taking so long. But again, the more that you know about an investigation or how to figure these scenarios out, it's just, it can never be fast enough, right? What sort of precedent is it leaving other families and individuals? Expect more children to be slipping through the cracks at any one point in time. And it's just a sick part of society. Belinda cried last night. It broke your heart. It was all terrible. She was crying online. Get fucking real. Get over yourself. Jesus Christ. That sort of behavior bothers me. I'm such a hard ass. Belinda cried last night. It broke my heart. It was all terrible. In my mind, there's a reason that people get in front of a microphone and cry, and I'm turned off. It turns me off. Sounds predatory for someone to be preying on Belinda to be her only connection at a time like this. Exactly. If somebody's making her feel like this, and she's in a vulnerable state. I don't know what sits wrong with me. She has real life connections and community support. Right, Canadian veteran? Right. Sounds to me like she needs to stay away from the internet. You know, the best thing to do in this circumstance is not participate, especially if you're involved in the case and your family of the case, to be here interacting with any sort of YouTuber, any sort of social media in groups like that is going to be bad on your mental fucking health. All right? And it's a huge mistake. No matter how many people convince you to get up there and on it, it's a mistake. You don't need that shit, Belinda. If you're really looking to make a difference, you're wasting your time here watching it on YouTube. It's kind of contradictory. What are you saying? No, she's just kidding, Canadian veteran. She's not going to the Virgin Islands. She's exaggerating. He thinks she's kind of trolling chat. She's looking for people's reactions. She's full of shit, for crying out loud. We make sure you let her know that, flight nurse. You pay the shipping for their buddy bench. I don't mind the buddy bench if you want to do that. It's the problem where you're trying to incorporate the community to try to generate money, and you're accepting money from random strangers. When does it start? When does it end? You'll soon find that you don't want it to ever end. Keep that money coming in. There's better ways to get money than that. Short note, Carrie, you just want convictions? Me as well. Me as well. You know, it would be nice if it wasn't coming from a rando on the internet for their own financial benefit. It'd be a lot more meaningful if it came from the kids at the school, if it came for the community as a whole, rather than a bunch of randos on the net. Yeah, well, that's Drippy. You're right. I think it's because people want to feel that they can do something to help. I think it's more about what these campaigns are about. Awareness is great, but don't need a fundraiser to do that, my honest opinion. Exactly. It doesn't... By participating in the conversation, you're doing enough. But that would be bang on. People do want to feel like they can do something in a situation like this far after the fact. It's a gray area. What does that mean? What does that mean, Teresa? Daniel told you he has 2 staplers now. What does that mean? How are staplers significant? Yeah, Esther, if I go missing, we'll find you. If I go missing, I'll probably want to have been missing. Oh, Flightners, maybe you're right. She was blindsided. I think that Sunny's saying that she was talking to Malaya behind the scenes. Oh yeah, she being some sort of mediator and liaison. Sure you are, darling. I mean, listen. I'm not even trying to be hard on her. Get Malaya up there. Let's hear what she has to say, for Christ's sakes. You know, when you're that person, you have to be diplomatic to a degree. But you're going to hear about it. Oh, it's tough. It's a tough position to put yourself in. When I phrase it that way, you're right. Sounds odd to have online folks send a bench to a school. Well, it's simply just too early, okay? That's the easy answer for all of this shit. Don't do it right now. It's all fine to think about memorials and this stuff, but one, you're already sold the kids out and down the fucking street when at this point in time when the investigation isn't even complete. Like it's really selling people a false narrative because of the amount of deception that's out here. Oh, the kids just walked into the bush. They didn't walk into the bush and disappear. And the fact that their parents are championing the story is so suspect. Wait for a while till you know the appropriate steps to take. That's creating drama, you know? That's creating drama when you pull shit like that, but whatever. You can expect Malaya to be trying to dip her hand into something at some point in time. These people are fucking thieving whores, okay? Thieving son of a bitch that steal from their own grandparents and do this types of stuff. You know, these kids needed support when they were alive. I'm so fucking... This Malaya... And this situation with Daniel is what brought... I don't even want to say it like that. I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed that Malaya didn't get out in December. Like, so close. You could feel the hostility of Belinda when Sunny came from criming shame and said she had left her live because she was talking to Malaya. What? Not good on Sunny's part, but it's her channel, right? Oh, God. Oh, God, Karen, you're cracking me up. Did that really happen? Are you guys fucking playing with me? That's good for... It's adding suspense to and mystique to the stream. You don't want to put yourself in that position. I don't know why you would want to put yourself in that position. Who's responsible for maintaining that bench? What's the plan? Oh, exactly. It'll get destroyed. It's something to bring up with the city in that sense. I got a better idea. Why don't you guys buy a gravestone, 2 of them, and get that all set up? Because there's probably no plan in place to give these kids a normal Christian burial in that sense. People are so eager to give them some sort of memorial. Give them some fucking gravestones. Ain't nobody in their family have money for that. Bernice Totten, how are you? What are you saying? She's crying because of the way she treated them? Who are you talking of? Who are you talking about? Oh, the reason she was crying was she couldn't get an answer. I see what you're saying. And that was playing out over a live stream. Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus. Oh. That's awkward a little bit. But the problem with all of that is that it's playing out over a live stream. Sonny's in between 2 family members. It doesn't matter what your intent is. It's probably not the best place to be. Oh, but you're such a good spokesperson for this stuff. You're so caring, Sonny. Oh, I don't envy her at all. Would never want to be in that situation. Because what you're doing is manipulating. No matter what your intention is. You're manipulating out of just trying to be that liaison between 2 people live online. It's one thing to talk to people, I guess. It's another thing to have it all play out online. Maybe it just didn't show that well. I would have to expect... I'm torn, Karen. You know, we don't know if Belinda is getting any mental health support. Now, what sort of support? People want to talk about what sort of support are there available for people in crises. They call it support. It's just a bunch of people who want to get in your business and talk to you. She can do it herself by not getting involved with these channels and being available, but she's a willing participant, so she can't have it both ways. It's going to be difficult for her. But I think it's probably a necessary battle that she's willing to go through, because these children truly have nobody in their lives. Now, that's not 100% true, because a lot of people base their opinions off what's happening in front of them on the YouTube streets. Like, I mean, the YouTube aspect to it is abnormal. Like, it's really, really none of our fucking business. We just want it to be our business because we want it to satisfy our curiosity. And we have a right to talk about it. It's public, in the public realm, but it's not like anybody respects that very much. No more peaches yet. Just wait, my dear. Yeah, Michelle DiNardo, they can proceed without finding any bodies. I think it would probably depend on how confident they are in finding it. I mean, at some point they've got to go through the steps in the process, ruling things out their own way, which is time consuming. I mean, yeah, she was chatting with M. I'm like, wow, all this needs to be sent to the RCMP. She's not supposed to be talking anyhow, says her about her lawyer. Well, she's not talking to her lawyer now, so you mean to tell me that all of those claims were bullshit now that she's talking to Sonny? Of course it was a line. Yeah, you're right, though. I don't think they're waiting to find bodies, Michelle. I don't think that's exactly what they're doing. You're in the U.S. My honey works for the City Beautification Parks and Rec Department. Here, that bench memorial fund is budgeted in the city's fiscal account. Right. Because they would maintain the park benches and things like that. It's their department. I got a better idea. Why don't you get over there and burn their fucking house down? Yeah, Bonnie Randall, you're saying Sonny is incredibly manipulative? You get that? I don't know. See, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know any better in that sense. She'll learn. She'll learn. Yeah, Michael, the kids are past in your opinion. Mine as well. Dolly offered Malaya $500 to go on his channel. He said he did good in Super Chats this weekend, Gemini. Yeah, I expect that from Dolly. $500. I'll give you $500. You come on up here, but you got to show your face. You got to do this, that, and the other thing. It's just a reason to get people all worked up in the live chat, right? It's actually, he's a clever son of a bitch. I don't dislike Dolly. I like when he goes on the scene. He does his IRL streams. I'm a fan of that kind of content. If they're waiting on finding the kids before their arrest, that may never happen. You're right, but they're not. Good to see you, Bonnie, by the way. Dolly offered Malaya $500. Just read that. It was crazy. Then Dolly comes in and offers $5,000 to Malaya to speak with him. And yet he was asked for $500. $500 in a whole last week. It's truly a circus. It's not a circus, Julie. Is it even legal to offer $5,000? Well, of course it is. People, it's all about the money. It's all about the cash flow. Of course it's legit. It's like getting John Wayne Bobbitt up to talk. It's a great interview. And as a creator, that's all you're really after. You know it's going to be hot content. Like the thing, she's an addict, and she's still an addict, and she's desperate need for money because she doesn't have any other income in that sense aside from the baby bonus, but that's put on pause because she doesn't have custody of any of her kids right now. So at some point she's going to want a little bit of pocket cash for something. How else is she going to get it? You offer $500 or $50 for an interview to help her out. It's common. It's not unheard of. In fact, why would the other person do it for free when you're getting all of this financial fucking reward for it through AdSense money and all of the views, super chats? Now you see the conundrum a little bit. Not that it makes it okay. Like, it's still exploitation at the end of the day. But money makes the world go round, right? You get back to work, Esther. Yeah, some manipulation isn't even conscious. People pleasing is even manipulation, usually to be safe or accepted or liked. You're a smart guy, Canadian veteran TDV. I like you. You should stick around for a little bit. I like your opinions. Thank you for being so rational in my live chat. That's surprising. I'm such an asshole. Oh, shit. But no, you're right on. And that's where people make the mistakes, okay? That's where like people, Sunny's a content creator like a lot of other people. I mean, she's just trying to make it exciting too. But no matter what, the superseding, the problem, the double-edged sword with this whole genre, okay, is people making money off talking about the content. And you have to do it respect. You have to give respect to the victims. You have to do things appropriately in that sense, because at the end of it, technically it's exploitation. And a violation of people's privacy. But there's a catch to all of that too, because there's so much at stake here, and the lies are so blatant. It's outraging, and it should be outraging to you in the public. Besides the reward from the RCMP, which nobody ever gets. Ginger girl, nobody ever gets that. Have the RCMP asked for the public's help? Well, of course, they always ask for the public help. Did they ask for the SAR funds? What is that? So, search and rescue funds? No. Did they ask for memorial benches? No. Of course. Fuck no. Ginger girls, no. No to all of that. Or are you trying to make a point with all of that? I think you're trying to make a point, and I was reading that inappropriately. I apologize. To known drug user in debt, stole from her grand and has 2 missing kids. Julie, yeah. I mean, next? Do you want to come out and lie to us? I look like shit today, Patty Burns, but I appreciate it. I just got up. I'm still in my pajamas. This is my sleeping apparel. People were complaining that couldn't see me in chat. Dippy, Slim Pickens, this is a municipality for one of the least populated municipalities. They're not going to have a lot of tax revenue for projects like that. That's right, Drippy. But, like I said, it's a great idea in theory, okay? Nobody's having any problems with people wanting to donate money to some sort of memorial fund at a certain point in time. But aren't we putting the cart before the horse? We're getting memorials for missing children at this point. You're expecting them to remain missing and mysteriously gone forever? That would be the hopes by the suspects in all of this. So even attempting that at this point in time is really championing what the intent of the guilty parties are. Because it's anything but recognizing the truth and reality to this situation. Any chance for some of these people to put a healthy, positive spin on what otherwise be the worst possible thing you can do while alive on this planet is to take the life, premeditated killing of children. The worst. And you could even consider torture in all of this on an ethical level, because there was all that neglect leading up to this and resentment towards these poor kids. Oh, Pink Stripe, is that what you're trying to say? You're saying, yes, manipulating the kids are alive. Did I catch that? Did I catch that properly? Or did I say Malaya? Did I hear Malaya is walking around still believing that the kids are somewhere alive? Fuck, she is on drugs. You are on drugs. You need to sober up, you nut. Listen, you're so fucking stupid. Stop with the shit already. Karen, I might mispronounce your names, guys. Because of the color, and I've got these goddamn glasses on that takes away any of the blue light, so it's disappeared. Karen Albrin, good to see you. Sunny lectures us constantly on how moral she is and how it's all about Jack and Lily on her channel. Yeah, we can get that from the title, girl. She's just reinforcing a positive message. Should I go over there and listen in? Fuck, I don't want to start doing that. Then I'll get too tied into it and I'll be making Sunny content. No, I don't want to do that. People can make content however they want. I try to be open-minded. You guys are cool. I like your opinions. That makes me laugh, but is that what she really intended? Does she intend to sound like that? Because granted, there are a lot of people in chats that you are probably a lot, more ethically inclined than. It's all about Jack and Lily. We're always talking about Jack and Lily in that sense. In my mind, it bores me to death if all you're focused on is how wonderful these missing kids were and it's all about the children. It's just a deceptive line for an audience. You're not actually talking about anything. You're just saying, you're talking rhetoric. In theory, all kids are wonderful and innocent, right? So you're really not saying anything in my mind. It just bores me to death. It's disingenuous and And the real interest in this case is what fucking happened to these kids and the probabilities. There's all kinds of things to talk about that are realistic in this case that nobody seems to really want to discuss. It's difficult to discuss them because it's not a happy news story in this sense. But a small municipality like that, you're talking about this buddy bench, it's just as easy to give them a call and tell them that what you want to do and see if that's doable. If you can put this bench up and they do the honors of maintaining it. Don't have to have anything in the budget to do. If somebody's willing to do it. In my mind though, it's just an opportunity to virtue signal in front of a bunch of viewers on YouTube. And put that seed out there. It's an opportunity and it's a feeler to see how malleable people are to donate to a cause in that circumstance. That whole process turns me the fuck off. You guys are putting your own interests ahead of the realistic aspects of the case. But it's up to certain people. If they want to do it, they can. It's their right. They can do whatever they want. But I have the right to opinionate all over the topic. Oh, Canadian veteran. So I can give you a demonstration. These are blue light filters. There's all kinds of research you'll find about mitochondrial damage in your eyes due to the blue light from artificial sources. Not the sun, but the frequencies given off by lights that are man-made in that sense, like LEDs and things, your television, and that damages your DNA on the mitochondrial level. So these glasses filter those particular wavelengths out. You get them $30, but there's a certain waveform, nanometers, that you want to get. I think I can't remember the exact number, but just make sure you know that that's an important aspect to buying them. It's not expensive. It just filters out all the blue light in the blue side of the spectrum. I think every missing or adult needs to be found. No, police can only do so much, Teresa. Police can only do so much. That's why it's such a popular method to disposing and killing and murdering, whether it be children or adversaries. When you make people disappear and there's no answers, the investigators can only do so much with the evidence that's given. It's a crapshoot. Hi, Evian. What does coming into chats do to help? Awareness is obviously done as channels are talking about them, but it's the same people here day after day. Not as if many new people coming into true crime streams. That's actually not true, Flightners. Every time that there's a new, from our perspective on social media, the only reason that we know about this case is because of mainstream media. And the key factors that set people's hair up. There's red flags right away on part of the behavior. Anytime that happens, you generally get all kinds of new people. There's always new people. You can even measure it on your analytics, but it's not totally true, Flightners. It seems that way. It seems like there's the same people. I think you're probably measuring it based off of participants in chat. It can seem a certain way, but anytime that there's a new situation at hand, there's always new people. Always new people. New interest. It's always like a new thing. That's kind of what makes it so popular to creators to stick in it. and follow it from a certain perspective, but it's difficult to do it a certain perspective because what people end up doing is pandering to their fucking audience and end up just damaging themselves. You compromise yourself. Dolly does a job of putting all of that, I feel, in the best package possible. Dolly does a good job in that sense, no matter what you think of him. But that whole package gives him the right to appeal to his audience for donations. Do you know what I mean? It's different than raising money for a GoFundMe in that circumstance. There's value to his message and in his message just because of the product that he puts on YouTube in that sense. Over here, we do things a little bit differently. We're more of a watchdog and talk about the things that you don't necessarily normally see, or the nonsense that goes on behind and the criminal acts that go on in parallel, because that never stops. That's a constant thing as well. Yeah, and having an influx of emotionally charged, vulnerable individuals that are always willing to part with their money under the guise of it's going to benefit somehow whatever situation is. It's a thing. It's a thing. Honey, you can have a peach if you want. You can have those peaches. Or is it locked? Hold on, I got to get a snack. Hold on, my friends. Just give me a second. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm glad those peaches are cheap. Oh, they're like $3 at the store, and it's like a huge, what do we call that, a quart of them? I'm going to go out to the farmer's market today and get a whole bunch of stuff to freeze dry. Put my freeze dryer to good use. What's going on, Kenny Cross? So Unique Rhythm, I'm going to have to go do some investigating into this. I don't know what exactly happened. I don't see why Malaya wanted half of the GoFundMe funds. Well, I do. She wants to fucking buy drugs. They're expensive, you know. If she wants money, confess what happened to her children. There is a giant reward. Oh, you wouldn't get that reward. There's stipulations, okay? That reward isn't coming to any family member, or especially any suspect in this particular case. It's for information from the public, right? It's a completely different thing. They're not going to give her $150,000 for telling people what happened to her kids. That's generally what I do too, Flight Nurse. So I just grab the transcript and put it through Grok, and it breaks down what they were talking about. I think people get a bad taste in their mouth because now that I mentioned it, it's every time I go through what was said in their channel, the crux of their entire stream is pushing their website and pushing, the things that they've made up, these bracelets and all of this. People get their backs up because of that. I just skip over it. I get to the point. What the hell were you talking about? But that's literally the crux of their streams. Oh, yeah, you already know what I'm talking about, then, Canadian veteran. Let me see my keys, please. What are you taking off with that for? Have some water till I'm ready. She wants to get into the lemonade already. Lunchtime we'll have it, honey. You get some water, though, right now. Yeah. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't think the police think of this as a missing case anymore, Drippy. What do you mean, Daniel? Guys, this isn't a criminal investigation. It's still a missing persons case. Like he's the one to be telling you the difference in any scenario like this. He wants to be the one that's giving you all of this information. Really, it's just an indicator that he's a guilty son of a bitch. This has crossed the line into criminal investigation. Oh, fuck, the first day. Let me see. Excuse me. Now, what's your problem with Wade, Karen? He wasn't gaslighting on Native communities. Darren and Wade aren't doing the same thing. All right? Maybe in your eyes they are, but they're not. You heard Wade have a conversation with the person telling you his perspective of things. You need to be able to pick out the important information within his statements. He's not doing any gaslighting. Gaslighting is what Darren was doing. They're completely two different scenarios. Daniel's new girl, Bernice Totten. Who is this new girl? She has kids? I'd be afraid to date him, poor kids. I can't sleep without looking for updates. People will surprise you. She's probably an addict. She recognizes where the where the drugs are. It's a perk to her scenario. Well, Canadian veteran Durwood's racism lies in his ignorance. It's probably not just Durwood, but you're really identifying how racist of a statement that Daniel was saying as well, because I believe that Durwood was just parroting a lot of the shit. A lot of the lies that were coming out of Daniel's mouth. It still didn't give... Durwood was doing a few things. I think he was just enjoying having all this attention and all of this importance bestowed upon him by certain channels. But I mean, you can be critical of him after the fact, but at the time, it's effective, and it's effective every time. These people were in control of dropping little bits of information and talking points out upon the public. It was really what's going on. Monkey Mind says, as per criminal shame, Sonny claimed criminal shame. Sonny claimed to have Malaya in the phone and was speaking to her because Malaya wanted to speak to her. They're all going to end up being subpoenaed. Oh, shit. She really wants to be involved. Like, heaven's sakes. Are you guys... I expect that people are exaggerating, and then again, maybe I'm not, or maybe you're not exaggerating. Really, but the fact it was all playing out on a live stream. Oh, she knows how to work the audience. You feel that you're being led on. Hey, Miss K. It's not like you're leading her on, but it's done on purpose, right? To add intrigue to the live stream. Like, why wouldn't it be? You know, she's really into this case in that sense. Like, I mean, we're all into what happened here. The more that you get to know, the more offended and sickened you become in this sense, I feel. I'm not saying everybody needs to feel like I do. I appreciate the differences, but man, some people just have a lot of time on their hands. They're really so into these scenarios. Like, think of the person that wants to get involved. Think of the girl that wants to get involved with Daniel, a child killer, at this point in time. You know, maybe Sonny's just another version of that with a true crime channel that wants to get, you know, like Cher, like from Voices Behind My Balls. You know, a lot of people would accuse her of that sort of behavior. So is Sonny going to be comparable to what Cher does? I don't know. But, you know, when it's in the moment, sometimes it drives you up the wall. Don't let it bother you too much. Yeah, that's a couple months ago. Why the policing expert believes the case is now a criminal investigation. Yeah, that's old hat, those articles. They're not really telling you anything. Headlines from Global or CBC. Fuck that. No, what's being talked about, the reality of the situation. That's what I like about the true crime genre, is because people talk about it, right? People actually talk about the subjects that have to do. You don't have to be so politically correct. And it's where all the people come that know these people in their real lives and drop all of these truth bombs that end up being true. That's so interesting, how these certain things develop. Angry Rabbit, you find Wade interesting? I love Wade. Wade, if you're out there somewhere, fantastic job. Fantastic job. And I like that Tint guy too. He's all right. But you can tell that even that Tint guy was tied to the information that was delivered to him by Daniel in that. And he had a hard time grasping in that moment anyway, because it's all so fresh. It just contradicts what you think that you thought was true to that point, or gave more of a possibility to. But the more that happens, the more that you realize that all of the information that you've gotten was from Daniel. Now you know the reason why he was in front of the camera in the first place. Because he needs you to be deflected. Could you see a Kit? Yeah, ways not to be trusted. That's you, Karen. That's you. You know? You don't trust anybody. I don't need to trust Wade at this point in time. Those statements were affirming everything that we thought was true about the situation at hand. And then some. From a person who's skeptical of the claims in the first place, and you have something against it, that says more about you, Karen, than it does about anybody. You comparing him to Durwood? Karen, are you sure you're not like Daniel, or working for Daniel, or on behalf of the guilty suspects at this point in time? Not trusting anybody is just an easy way to dismiss and not try to figure out things or recognize human behavior. Bernice, good to see you. When she was raking the driveway for the pool in the rain, they found one footprint. She got rid of the other prints, I believe. Might be the wrong poor kids. No, I think you got the right idea. It's just one of those red herrings, right? Is it important? Is it significant? Why did they bring it up in the first place? Is it just to fill in space? You know, it wouldn't be the first time that people leave little traces of things behind for police to get hung up on and investigate. When you see a random boot print in the middle of something and no other boot prints around it, no other scent trails, it would seem to me that it was staged, or it goes in the old, ticker box with the totality of the other crap that was staged around that place. This doesn't look like a scenario where the kids were abducted or the kids walked away. I think it just is something like a grasp in the dark, like you need a bunch of things that go along with your bullshit claim. Oh, there's a boot print. Well, what is the boot print? Who cares? You would expect there to be all kinds of boot prints up and around there if the kids are out playing and carrying on all the time. Shouldn't be overly fresh. It should be difficult to distinguish which one is the freshest. Not the only one out there. So it doesn't fit with anything. It's presented to you by the suspects and all of this. The question in my mind is, why are the suspects lying? The fact that they're lying allows your mind to speculate to the most extreme scenarios, unfortunately. It would be the only reason to lie. It could be of course it's enabling, Karen, but who are you to judge at this point in time? You know, go ahead and judge them if you want, but you don't need to put that on everybody else as though these things are fact. You know, so you're going to hold it against her for trying to help out her own daughter in a circumstance. You want to cast judgment upon these people after your suspicions. You're just putting yourself in a position over that other person without explanation. Nobody's saying any of that. And you bringing that up as a question in my live chat isn't reasonable or sensible, gal. And Wade will be as exposed as a mouthpiece for Grammy Patty. Any particular reason that you're so angry at a person like Wade who had such significant things to say about the suspects at hand? That sounds like something Daniel would say. You sound like you're more aligned with Daniel than anybody else. Why is that? Yeah, it is a black and white fucking situation. It's an absolute black and white situation in this circumstance, Karen. I don't know if you're trying to get one over on me psychologically here, but you continue to carry on about Wade in a way that's unreasonable. Right? It doesn't matter whether or not you fucking believe anything that he had to say. Everything that he had to say was from the heart and by a person who was involved with the family, and you want to undermine that. Why? That's right, Margaret Johnson. Nobody's going to set up a pool in the driveway in May in cold weather. Yeah, it's just a line. But do you expect anything different, Margaret? I agree with you. You don't trust Wade either, Sleuthy? Don't give me the Nova Scotia hospitality way of talking slag to your girlfriend's daughter to a complete stranger, true or not. People fucking have an anger towards everybody that's involved with the family based upon what's likely happened to these children. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you act fast enough? I like to hold that against them in my mind. It's too angry. Malaya called what Wade said rumor. You say gossip? I don't even know what you're saying. So Malaya called what Wade said gossip. Well, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares what Malaya, an addict and a liar at this point in time, who's guilty of neglecting her kids bare minimum, and has come up and lied in front of the mainstream media of the nation, and is trying to cover up what really happened to her own children. I don't give that individual any credibility whatsoever, no matter how hard I want to hear her voice. That's disgusting. Don't give a shit as to what Malaya has said, what she's validated, what she hasn't validated, what Daniel has validated, what he hasn't validated. Who gives a fuck? And why would you use what Malaya says as a basis for any sort of forming an opinion for anybody? As it's a point. It's not a point. It's stupid. It's nonsense. Malaya says Wade was full of rumor, and he is. Well, how do you know that, Karen? How do you know that? Thank you very much, Kip Britch. Karen, you're not really saying anything. You're adding confusion to it. You don't even answer any of the questions I have in response to you. You just come with these comments. You come with these comments that's this and that, and you're talking about this and that, and now you're basing it off what Malaya has recently come out and said as though you're in a position to know. Are you sure you're not Daniel? You sure you're not fucking tweaking right now? First, you could start speaking in complete sentences. That might help your meaning with things. Not clever. You're not witty, Karen. If anything, you're highly manipulative in these live stream chats. Or should I call you Daniel? What are you exactly? Who are you exactly? You're not engaging with anybody else in that sense. You don't have a point. Come on now. Who the fuck cares what he is? Wade is somebody who hangs around the clubhouse at the Truro racetrack looking for someone to buy him a drink. What is that saying? Who cares? Who cares? What does that have to do with any of the things that he said about Malaya or the concerns that they had as a family? Do you know him? The thing is that you don't even want to answer any of that. Any reasonable question that's been brought up to you, you don't want to respond to. You're just coming out with these angles. Are you sure you're not tweaking, Karen? That's disrespectful. That's why people get upset with you. That's why people get upset with you. You can have a 24-hour timeout. So disappointed in you, Karen. I've given you long enough. When you start pulling that bullshit, when you start pulling this and that bullshit, it undermines and negates any sort of point that you're trying to fucking make in the first place. All right? But you're not going to get one over on me. What are you in my chat trying to contradict me? No, you're not even doing that. I've yet to hear you make a fucking point. All of a sudden, you want to undermine some of the most intriguing information that has come out in the case as of recent, and you want to lump him in with Darren Geddes. You're a fucking idiot, okay? You're dumb as fuck. You make no sense. And worse off, you're probably doing it on purpose because you never answer anybody's question. You've never answered a question yet. All right? That's beyond suspicious to me. That tells me that you're somebody you're doing something else. You've got an ulterior agenda, an ulterior motive. And it's to sit here and try to undermine. And when you're undermining the guilty parties in this circumstance at this point, it tells me that you're on their side. You're trying to confuse the scenario and use my beautiful establishment here to do it. Fuck that shit. I don't care. It's one thing if we're carrying on a conversation, Karen, but you and I don't carry on a conversation. You fill my fucking Gmail up like nobody's business. I should go and show all you people the useless shit that she's sending me. I've got better things to do. And then all of a sudden she's worried that people are talking about her stalking me and all of this. Like, you're trying to manipulate me behind the scenes. Do you think this is my first rodeo? All right? I know why people fucking ban you from their live chats over there, because you're causing chaos. It's one thing to engage and be engaging, but you've never once answered a goddamn question while you've been here, mine or anybody else's. I even stood up for you. That's done. You've showed your true colors, and you yourself can't even tell. You just want to cast judgment based upon your own ignorances and take us along for the ride with you. We've given you plenty of opportunities. No, it's just a troll tactic, Bobbies and dolls. Karen Joes is Daniel. He's famous for not answering questions. Well, the problem is that he thinks he's slick. It probably is Daniel. Thinking that, and he has the need to manipulate people. It shows you the type of individuals that surround him. Or it is him. It's got to be. Fuck, heaven forbid anybody have an actual conversation about any of the information that was validated by other people in their family. These are the types of things that are of legitimate interest, okay? And you don't even want to talk about them in a reasonable fashion. That tells me that you're wanting to deflect people away from the actual problem at hand here, the actual factual information. Doesn't it to you guys? Well, there'll be enough of that. No more of that shit here. How does Wade hanging out at the track booching drinks? Yeah, that's a little bit too personal. Maybe he does. He does sound like he probably does. It's just a clever way to make me laugh up here and continue on the fucking foolery. But I've been wise to it. I don't even fucking pay it any mind. Far after the fact, we'll go back and cross-reference all the emails that they're on about. You think I put that much... why I think you're tweaking out? Look, we'll get into that a lot later. The thing is that they're trying to engage with me on a certain level that you're not going to, all right? Wade is just a farmer type guy. Wade's a good guy in my mind, monkey mind. He's got a horse trailer. He races horses. I kind of like the guy. I can relate to that. Fucking guy. Drippy, what are you saying? Okay, what's going on right now between AB and Karen is what happens on Sonny's place. But Sonny blocks after. Karen got blocked by Sonny, just pointing it out. No, Karen can come back. Now that we know Karen's fucking shtick, it's not going to be very nice for Karen in here much more. I don't think she'll be hanging around, but she's welcome to. I don't give a shit. Karen Daniel. That's fucking Daniel as far as I'm concerned now. Dude, he was tweaking out on the live telling people to stop bashing Timu. Because Timu is so much more important than his kids, eh, Daniel? Tweaking F-bag. Norbeaster, where did you see that? How many times is these idiots going to fucking put an ad for Timu out there? Talking all about this Timu. Like, even Janie. Even Janie's going on about how Timu's just the worst addiction. It's the shit that comes along with that blue light shit, man. You're being conditioned and programmed by that damn thing. Fucking Timu, they're addicted to spending money. All this drug money that they got. All this fucking shake and bake money. Karen, you carry on like a tweaker. Margaret Johnson. Remember, Daniel was running through waist-deep water checking culverts in the rain ahead of the helicopters. Almost died a few times. Almost impaled himself on sticks. I like that. What a fucking guy. Man, oh man, oh man. Man of desperation. Karen Daniels. Daniel, there's a cage waiting for you? Absolutely there is, son. I'm thinking he's fucking slick. Oh, you're just sitting around tweaking. Why don't you go have a nap, Daniel? Why don't you go have a sleep, son? Sleep it off. You need to get off those drugs, boy. Yeah, Tammy, you're all choked up over what happened over on Sunny's last night with Belinda crying. Oh, it was good TV. Made for good TV in that sense. I think that was the point of crying, to make you feel bad. That's kind of the point to it all. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just a little bit much. But I do feel bad for Belinda in that sense for having to be involved in this. Timu? He probably gets all the supplies off Timu, Norbeaster. Think about all the glass dicks that Daniel sucks on that he gets from Timu. Probably gets 100 of them for $1. Those little rolls, the little glass things that you roll around. And all of the butane torches he probably uses up there for his parties. It's all Timu, bro. It's way better than getting it from the store. You don't even have to leave your house. It's perfect for dudes who are shaking and baking. Probably gets all the Soda Stream bottles off there. Wonder if you can get chemicals off Timu. Probably it's Chinese. Put that on the ship, son. I'll take 400 packages of Claritin, please. Extra strength. Get the extra strength. Oh, and we'll need this little grinder. We'll need this super grinder. All kinds of camp stove oil, some kerosene, some jet fuel in on that. We'll shake that shit right up. Oh, I'll order this Temu. I'll get this Temu pressure gauge. That way I'm doing it safely. Maybe this one-way release valve. Oh, yeah, you can get all that shit on Temu, bro. makes bacon meth at your house that much more affordable. Oh, Christ. What do we do to ourselves? Fuck. We're killing ourselves. Yeah, you need an accelerant like that. Oh, let's not forget all of those rechargeable Chinese batteries that you need. You need all that lithium to break up to put in that jet fuel, Karen. You know what I'm saying, Daniel? And under extreme pressure and heat, they make that transition and a new compound is formed. And then you can just filter it out. Putting up maybe a quarter cup of water and a little bit of pH adjustment. You got to get it down to, I can't remember what pH it is. But you see it snowing. Then after you see it snowing, then you can pin a hole and drain it off and put it in a little plate and evaporate off the moisture and be left with, well, at that point, the powder. But there's still another step after that to crystallize it up. And that has to do with, I can't remember right now. That's not important. Belinda was crying so heartbreaking. Sunny should air her crushing pain. What? It's private and sacred human pain. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh. Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree with you on that one, Monkey Mind. I don't. In my mind it is, but I don't want to. I'm going to try not to hold it against them. Sometimes things happen. She's trying to arrange something for good. She's making good TV in that sense. It's gripping. Oh, I'm gripped. Oh shit, you'll be back over there watching anything anyway. It's fine. It's just people are emoting over the situation. Shake and bake? Tell her it's stuff that you put on your chicken, Miss K. It's just a powder that you put on your chicken. Were there Pampers under the trailer? What are you saying, Anne-Marie? Spare time. It's not generally something that you're going to want to do inside. The only... I don't even want to talk about it that way. You're saying... if they are making shit, those kids OD just from the process of chemicals in the air. That's not true. Spare time. It's harmful, but that's the least of their worries. It can be harmful. But you can just lock yourself in the bathroom and turn the ventilation fan on or open the window and be good to go. So at bare minimum, they'll be putting in some basic steps of safety in their process so they don't hurt themselves. It's not just somebody else. You don't expose somebody else and they died and you don't fucking die at the same time. You know, so it's not exactly like that. There's a lot of rhetoric about it. Yeah, it's harmful. Yeah, it is toxic, but it's not exactly the rhetoric that you hear pushed on the news and things like this. It's not accurate. Paul is saying, Daniel, you've really deeply affected people. Belinda is heartbroken, and you sit pretending. You're going to prison for a long time. Cold turkey. Start weaning off the math. If I were you, he's going to get fucking killed in prison. They're going to have to keep him in protective custody in one of those funky suits that they keep you from. You know, you look like a spaceman with the high sides. You'll be on suicide watch. Unaliving watch. My dog, if math is so great, why has Big Pharma grabbed a piece of the pie? Well, they've been making it for a long time. The Japanese used it in war. Bayer bought the rights to it. Bayer made it for the Germans in World War II. It was called Pervitin. They still make what is otherwise no different, just called something different, and they put it in your Adderall, okay? It's just that when you do and make it shake and bake, you go about it in a different manner. So it's not as pure, it's not as powerful in the end. Shake and bake's just you're taking pseudoephedrine, okay? It's not even real ephedrine. It's pseudoephedrine, chemically, out of the Claritin, and you're otherwise infusing it and making it interact under great pressure and heat with lithium. And out of that comes the new product, which is filtered off methamphetamine, essentially. But Big Pharma's already all over it. Yeah. Where do you think it came from? It's already well studied. I thought you said that there is a smell from dumping Pampers through the floor. Is that a rumor, Anne-Marie? You're saying I said that? I don't think you heard that here. Wade was talking about the 100 garbage bags of dirty diapers that they made by taking all of the shit out of their basement at the other house, Patty's. Karen Daniels doesn't like Patty's. Who puts a kiddie pool in the dirt driveway? A tweaker making it up? Bullshitting? There's no reason to put a kiddie pool on a driveway. Especially when you've got a full empty backyard there with grass on it. That's where you put the pool. He'll be a prison ham? I can't wait. Karen Daniels, till I see you fucking at court for the first time. I'm coming down full frontal. Plus, you need grass seed and other things. It would be expensive AF. Do these tweakers look like they've got that kind of money? Grass seed for what? You mean, are you talking about the pool in that sense? Nobody believes that crap. If it was an actual thing, there would be context around it. Oh, you mean because you're such loving, caring individuals? That's why they wanted to include it, because if they have to make something up, why not mention how great of a wonderful, well-meaning, intentioned grandparent you are by putting in this kiddie pool for the kids so it's easier for you to drown them when they start yelling? Fuck, just what they needed. A pool to drown in while you're neglecting them and ignoring them while you get high. Hey, Karen? That's another thing about you, Karen. You're not as outraged by all of these facts that are floating to the surface. You want to offset the people. You want to undermine the people that they come. There's no relation between Durwood and Wade. Completely different people, completely different claims and stories. Oh, ow! Too much time on your hands, Daniel. You're manipulating the wrong one, bitch. Why don't you go talk to your girlfriend? The new bitch. The new catfish. You're so stupid. I do wonder how Janie explains that stovepipe coming out of RV. Probably because that idiot Daniel installed it. He forgot to put a 90 on it. Nah, you guys are just... You can't even give her that. I just think it's for a wood stove. I don't know what's on the other side of it, though. It's just unfinished. It's just coming out there. It's kind of a hack job. Like, I mean, who puts a wood stove in their RV in the first place? Somebody who's cold, I would expect. But it only makes sense when you live with bush property. You could keep that thing stoked with branches and sticks and have a small fire going all the time. You could heat my shop with that, man. So it makes sense to me. It's just that when you install wood burning stoves, there's a little thing called safety. So you go through the process, and that stovepipe is is pretty important part of it, and especially how things burn. You want a certain length on that stovepipe, right? There's a certain trick and art to it. It just looks like a home for pigeons. You just got a 6-inch opening. Yeah, you go ahead and have those if there's any left, Chair. Go ahead, my dear. That's just common on the East Coast, Drippy. He takes you a couple go. Wade's a hard guy to understand in the beginning. And it's not the greatest audio. Monkey Maid, you don't know about the stories behind that? Oh, there's a well-documented reality behind how it's been used in war, and it ends up your grandma and grandpa were getting high on this shit. But only it's in a different form. Same cuckoo results, though. People are fucking nuts on it. Well, hold on, Tony. I'm just up and trying to make my way down. Hold on. I got it. Where are you, Tony? I'm way behind in chat, by the way. People are talking, and I'm way behind catching up. Oh, well, initially, the Germans used it for sentry duties to keep you up and awake and alert. It's been used for all kinds of things. Boy, that does the trick, all right. Layla, AB, off topic. Are you pro or against legal prostitution in Canada? It's legal in Australia. Well, I think it's kind of legal here in Canada as well. It's just, I think they call it something different. Hey, whatever makes it safer for the ladies at the end of the day. I think that's the rhetoric that they go for. Listen, I'm not the one to converse about that. I think it's probably an over-liberalized concept that's contributing to the detriment of our sanctity of what we know as a family unit. But it's the oldest profession. I mean, listen. What are you going to do? I'm not pro making things criminal in that sense. It's not the answer. You trying to get me in trouble? Well, listen, Drippy, you don't even think it was a kiddie pool because she said she was putting a pool up. You don't put up a kiddie pool. Right. You're my little statement analyst in here. That's a good analysis. Hey, where's the pool? So where's the fucking pool now? She didn't actually say it was for the kids, right? She just insinuated. They do a lot of insinuating, hoping that you're going to interpret it in a certain way. They speak anything but direct. That's by design. Right, Canadian? A pool is the dangerous AF when you can't even keep the kids safe. From Daniel yelling at Jack when he does what he does, letting the chickens out. Well, that's again coming from them. We believe that Daniel yells at the kids. Does far worse than that. Monkey mind? I don't think so. No, I don't have multiple degrees. You don't need multiple degrees to be well read and have a genuine interest in truth or reality. I think what you're being confused with is my logic. My ability to rationalize in that sense comes from me being an electrician, I think. And reading ladder logic and really dealing with electricity, because there's no bullshitting and lying around electricity. And there's certain ways to effectively investigate faults in electrical circuits, and that process is applied to any sort of other investigative process. So I think that's probably what gets you fooled for being otherwise intelligent or smart. Most of the time I'm smoking weed up here and I'm dumb as fuck. But it's just, what grabs me is about these situations is I just have an interest in the mystery at hand, right? Of course I care about these kids, but what infuriates me is the same thing that I would expect infuriates everybody else out there. And here is another situation with parents trying to get away with the evil that they've taken out upon their children. And I can't have that. So, I mean, I can talk about that all fucking day. Multiple degrees. Yeah, right. What a waste of money these days. That's what you need grass seed for, so you aren't getting dirt on the pool. That's right, Norbeaster. You put them on the grass so you don't truck all that shit in and out of the pool. But I don't think that was even an issue, because it's just, from their perspective, it's just something for people to talk about and focus on and consume their brain power over. Sourced from liars in this circumstance. Yeah, Queen of Hearts, that's another good idea too. Or a good point too. Put it right on that pipeline when it rains. You're talking about that little dugout that they created for the RV. Weak soil. There's plenty of trees and growth up there, but the soil itself doesn't look all that stable. You're right. It looks very sandy underneath that, like red mud. I'm not sure I did. You have to repeat it, Tony. I don't know where your message went. Yeah, you can picture Janie buying a pool now to make her story more legit. Well, they're only $20. You need them to put your beer in, don't you? You need to fill them with ice and put all of your drinks in for your parties. Oh, monkey mind, stop doing that to me. My vocabulary is crazy. It's not very good at all. I think it's probably confusing just only because it probably shows how much crap I watch on YouTube in that sense. Meaning, homicide investigations. I have a fascination with those. But now I'm bored of them. I go through phases. Now I don't want to really watch a lot of them unless they're certain ones. Just because I'm bored with the process. Poor kids have massive debt chasing degrees. Oh yeah, you buy a degree anymore. I shouldn't say that about every place because, of course, educations vary widely. The day Malaya left her grandma was the day she put herself before her well-being and her children, in your opinion? I think you're onto something, Ginger. Because with Patty and Cindy, at least those individuals were the only ones in Malaya and hence her children's life that really at that point in time cared about her. But again, that's the danger with drugs, isn't it? That's the danger with methamphetamine. They're disassociates. So it was easier for her to ignore everything and pretend things were going to get better and not pay attention to them like she should have. They're hard to make look good too, Canadian veteran, I find. Like above ground pools. You have to really build them in with a deck and things to make them, I feel like, worthwhile. They just become a big lump of toxic plastic and an annoyance after a while. Norbeaster, stop making fun of Timu. You're going to upset Karen Daniels. Yeah, they're not going to be able to sell much meth now. It's bad for business. Karen Daniels' meth makes them go crazy. Look what you did. Look, they're going to shred him apart. Did something happen with the swing? Why fresh duct tape right before the interview with Janie? Oh, so it didn't look so dilapidated. I'm surprised they didn't put another 2 nails in the damn thing. Like it was a poor excuse for a playground. Like, I think it's more for show. It's decorative than anything. It makes them look like they're in a great backyard. The kids didn't know the difference. They didn't care about it. I wondered if Malaya left because she feared she and Meta would be next. I would think so, Unique Rhythm. I mean, I think about that all the time because it's just a matter of time. Malaya still sits in that dissociative state, in your opinion? Well, that's the damage of the drug. It's going to be difficult, but not impossible to get past this and get your normal human senses back. You know, the gravy train's over, boys. There comes a certain, point in time when it comes to hard drugs that you need to get off them. That time was long ago for this crowd. Yeah, good luck selling anything at this point in time. No, all of that is in the past. You got a redneck pool yourself? Put your lawn chair. Some days it's worth it. Some days you're like, you know what? I would probably just go and soak in one right now, but they're a pain in the ass. I've had one before. Get them for a couple $100 at your local store or whatever. They come with a filter and all of that, and some chemicals, but it's just a big thing to get you buying pH. The maintenance on those little shitty things are way overpriced and really annoying after a while. But they're good in that little time that you're enjoying them. Well, since they won't have the kids to guard proof to make sure that the drug deals go down safely. Oh my God. Well, they're not doing very well. This business of theirs dealing drugs isn't doing very well. Again, it has to be, something that they're benefiting from. Like they're making it and getting carried away, making it for their own well-being, and then try to sell the rest of it in order to buy more supplies and things like that in order to get their next series of fixes. That's the shittiest stuff ever, man. Well, since they won't I read that one. AB, my husband has the same profession as you. Well, he talked to a hospital nurse while I gave birth. She reported to us to our doctor just because he said no to her. We don't do any rugs, unemployed. What are you saying? Oh, okay. So while he was talking to a nurse at the hospital while you were giving birth, she reported you guys to your doctor. For what? For being weirdos? People in that environment, hospitals, they forget that people in hospitals are doing that. They hold people against their will because of things that they say that they may feel that they will become a danger to themselves or harm some of the hospital staff, and they use that to deal with people or to raise concerns. And they have a process in which that happens that you'd probably be surprised about. Like, it seems so dystopian and so overly controlling of people who are there to otherwise heal themselves or get better. That's when you start to recognize that the medical system isn't set up to to help you in that sense. It's a business, okay? And there's all kinds of legislation and things being abused at every level that at the end of it, we're being fucking systematically murdered in that sense. It's not a place to... a hospital isn't a great environment, a nice environment. It's a fucking scary, scary place in my opinion. I'll stay right away from them and doctors. Not saying that you need to do the same or should do the same. But the more that you get to know about the business side of everything and the cover-ups and the suppressed knowledge, the more that you realize how the hospital and the medical system is working against especially people who are unwitting to it all and think that it's just there to help them and protect them. Oh, Christ. The longer this goes unsolved, Bonnie Randall says, the higher risk is created for kids with parents who aren't attached or bonded and feel like they are dispensable. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. I think anytime that we're in situations like this and there's fresh cases, it seems like this is just like Summer's case or this person's case or this person's case. And you're all right, because there's always people trying to make their children disappear or make people disappear in that sense when it's the individual's own children that got gone. It looks the same every single time because of the dishonesty involved. If it were a genuine situation, the parents wouldn't be acting this way. And especially, I get a big kick out of how Daniel is really giving himself away by making it look like he's suppressing knowledge to maintain the integrity of a specific case in an emergency situation where you're trying to find your kids. Are you sure about that? That's a prime example of them pissing in your ear and telling you it's raining. You need to recognize these things for what they are. And a person that has the need to do that is guilty of a lot worse in this circumstance. This motherfucker loves to manipulate, and he loves to play and tweak people in real time because the dude's got nothing better to do. Hey, NDH. That's right, Daniel. Don't get high on your own supply. Good luck with that. Daniel and Malaya are looking for Lily and Jack because the kids aren't missing. They know exactly where they put them and buried them. I believe that. Absolutely. I mean, there might be a technicality there. Like, it might be possible in a technical world. Like, first of all, they both believe, or they both know what happened. Absolutely they do. They know the reason why they had to come out with that bullshit story. It was all orchestrated. Absolutely it was. But there might be a discrepancy at locating the bodies that are buried, because I'm pretty sure that Daniel did that himself. You can dig a lot when you're high on that shit, especially when you need to. Listen, this hidden in the fog bullshit, is that another person who is so self-consumed that they're believing in tarot cards and psychics and this shit? No, I pass with that shit. It's another instance of being manipulated and people believing in it are narcissists because you don't understand the process. Let me see. Yeah, you're right, Shorty Lab Rat. Growing up there all those years, 2 generations, and they thought of to build as a bunch of branches laying together for kids. Oh, you're talking about their little forts up there? Well, I mean, it's pretty common activity, right? building a shelter in the bush with a bunch of overgrown limbs and things that are around. Either make them for burning or make a shelter out of them. That way they have a place to go up there when they play in the woods. I think it's just a thing many people do, I think. I don't even think it's that. It just seems like it's a normal thing at this point in time. They call them their cabins, though. Whatever you refer to it as. Oh, you're a white educated. Oh, you're upset, Layla, because you think you're being discriminated against at the hospital. That's probably true. Like there's certain types of personalities that might stand out to people who are working with you. Any concerns? And of course there's all kinds of personalities that you run into in a hospital, right? So when you're in a situation like that, best not to say anything. Unfortunately, the more communicative you are in that environment, the more it works against you. The more that they'll hold it against you for whatever reason. Look, they'll label you crazy in that sense. Having auditory hallucinations or something like that. A reason to put what they call a Form 10 on you, which is a 5150 hold. But yeah, that's actually common, surprisingly, especially in Canada. They call it a Form 1. A Form 1 hold. We need to get Daniel in here for a good roasting. Amanda Graham. Well, he was just here. Karen was just in the chat. You had your chance. He's under an assumed name. Oh, hold on. Where am I here? Yeah, nobody's safe from a good roast over here, sadly. All in good fun, though. Daniel and Janie know the lay to the land so well. There's a reason they're being so cocky, is they feel that they have chosen the best hiding spot and won't get caught. I think it can probably look like that. I think it's more out of desperation, though, not necessarily out of being proud about the fact that they murdered 2 children. It just goes hand in hand with carrying out a plan in order to get yourself out of this situation. You knew moments after you did that deed that you were going to cover this up. You probably knew that before you murdered the second child. And you have to see it out. And wouldn't you know it, the one thing that tweakers do well is get themselves into situations like this. It just seems complicated because we're opening ourselves up to all the lies and deception, and we have got no choice other than to discern and try to determine what's what. It's labor intensive for your emotions, for sure. Oh, I appreciate you, Kip Rich. Yeah, Ginger Girls, you're talking about Daniel saying that he was missing in action for the first day of the search because he was out searching? Yeah. Yeah, we know what all that means. No, you weren't. The fact that he's volunteering all of this sketchy information to make it look and to try to convince you that even though it looks shady, the fact that he's volunteering it to you should be some sort of demonstration on just how innocent he is in all of this. No, that's what he hopes. It doesn't change the rules of the game because you've attempted to play reverse psychology with people in the moment. No, you're still just as suspect. Worse than just suspect. The body cam videos I've watched show addicts who hurt their kids in a similar situation, and it happens more than we can imagine. Do you know what, Angry Rabbit? I was so surprised. You know, when you try to find similar cases and scenarios, it seems, again, and that's just because of mainstream media and how we get our information, but when you search and you dig, Law and Crime Network is a good channel on YouTube that carries a lot of the similar issues, and there is a ridiculous amount of scenarios just like this. Police interviews, and I was really surprised on how many that there were. Like, I don't even watch them. There's more than I can watch in that sense. I had enough. Oh, you expect to be lied to by these addicts. Oh, yeah, you feel that you're discriminated against at the hospital, Layla? You should file a complaint in that sense. Did you go ahead and file a complaint with the hospital board? Well, maybe that they were tanning hides or something, Slim Pickens. They were collecting all of this human feces for some reason. Do you think? I don't think so. I think it's just laziness, and it goes along with the effects of abusing that particular substance, sadly. Yeah, I remember that, Margaret Johnson. Those two kids who shot those people on the highway and they tracked them down a couple provinces. They went on the run. Yeah, it was a few years ago now. They went on the run with their rifles and their pickup truck. They didn't get very far. They got caught up in the Great Canadian, in the Scugoggs and all of the swamplands. Just a nasty place. They had to hire, well, they hired a lot of native trackers to track them down, for crying out loud. They had all kinds of people out searching for them voluntarily. But that's a little different. Those are fugitives on the run, APB. Sunny will not tolerate a speck of personal criticism. Oh, she's overly sensitive? Oh, come on, Truth. Maybe she's getting too much of it. It's a downfall in your humble opinion. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Nobody wants to come into the live chat and hear all the things that they think somebody's doing wrong. Well, it's better that you probably just turn the channel then. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You got to give something people to complain about. You got to give them something to complain about in that sense. In fact, she's the one who started the club. There's all kinds of crap that comes with that is annoying. Volunteering information qualifiers and body language, Norbeaster. You think that there's some man, I don't even think that you need to even resort to any of the pseudosciences for any of this nonsense. Like, the lies are blatant, unfortunately. Yep. This is where I'm building the pool. I care about the kids so much, I planned on putting a pool in, but then they disappeared. So now I'm not gonna. None of them have really, other than a controlled environment, had any sort of hard questions in that circumstance. I'm sure that there's been some difficult moments in the investigators, but they're really trying to gather information. There's different points and stages, so they're still really trying to get a lot of the information that's available. It takes a little bit of time to analyze that information and then go on to the next step. It's never a quick process. How do you know, or Unique, I'm being sarcastic. You say, what disgusts me most is that Daniel and Malaya have no remorse. They just worried about themselves and keeping themselves out of prison for abuse, neglecting, and probably unaliving the kids. Absolutely. What would you expect them to be protecting? It would only be the worst case scenario. Obviously, there is trouble within the household, right? Like it escalated. His resentment towards the children, not just that, but everything. Even Malaya not contributing and looking after her kids in that sense, according to them. They've admitted that earlier on, that they had problems with Malaya not looking after the children, not doing her part. And of course, we know how silly that is for him to say that, but apparently it's an issue, and it corroborated by Wade when they were living at Patty's home. Like, it's been an ongoing thing. And it has to do with her disappointment, probably, over her false expectations with the relationship from Cody. It's a constant reminder, and when you're self-loathing in that circumstance, the kids get the real negative. They get the negativity. They're the conduits. They see the most harm out of it. And Daniel and Janie, they're just some randos at their house that need to follow their orders and shut the hell up. Like, you can't have it both ways, Daniel. You can't be this caring individual, but that's so off his wall. They're trying to go out and find the kids that they keep putting blame on, walking out and disappearing themselves. And then start indicating all of these people were inside your home neglecting the kids. Well, this is your home as well. See, there's disorganization within that thought process. That's a strong indicator of the need to cover things up. You feel like Earl, Cindy, Jamie, Belinda need to be held responsible for raising animals, Andy H. Oh, I see where you're going with that. I see what you're saying. And these adults were all abusive towards their children. Well, I don't know. Belinda is just a person who's been iced out of the situation. And she's trying to make that emotional connection after the fact. She's a human being who cared about the kids. These are her grandchildren, biologically. Okay? I don't put too much responsibility onto her at this point because a lot of it's out of her control. When drugs... these are how drugs destroy families. So I don't like to put blame on necessarily anybody, especially when I don't know all of the intricacies of what was going on. I don't like to put myself in that position to be torn to and fro. It's a hell of a thing to be put through. At least Belinda is doing the right thing in this circumstance. Now, whether she's being misled, manipulated, I'd say yeah, because of the mental state. Might not be on purpose, but it's just, she's an adult. She can make her own decisions. You teased about her talking too much and never got kicked? Jeez. You guys are horrible for Sunny. You guys are killing her. Sunny says she's been in hospitality forever. Maybe that's what it is. That's probably what it is. A person who's, disingenuous and nice at all points. I get it. She's an unintended target of people's emotions, maybe. Sonny made this the Martell show. It's sickening. Is that Sonny's fault, though? Daniel, listen, I don't know about that. I think you're putting blame on her. Maybe, I don't know. I think you're probably putting too much blame on her for that sense. You know, Daniel wanted to talk. Who is everybody to say that he's lying at any one point in time? Let the guy talk. Let the guy say what it is that he wants. How else are we going to know how full of shit he is? Thank you for not focusing on all the drama and keeping, Oh, he's so fucking pretentious. You can see what it is that he's doing. Charmaine is awesome, you're saying, Margaret, but puts up with Sonny, dissing her new audiobook with her brother. That's why I don't watch her channel anymore. Holy shit, you guys are going hard at her. I don't know Charmaine. Charmaine is a clear thinker, Barbara M. But you guys certainly have... There's some controversy over there. I don't know them that well yet. Now I'm going to go watch. I got to go watch just to see what you guys are talking about. Sonny always brings it back to herself, you're saying? You guys are critical, super critical. Maybe you're probably right about something. So there's some improvements there that she can make. Hey, Amanda Graham. It's usually around 11:30, 12 p.m. here, and I'm all tucked up into bed those hours. Yeah, I got to start live streaming more. I got to start connecting with the audience a lot more. It just now I'm motivated because of the nastiness that I get from this particular situation with Jack and Lily. It's not going to end anytime soon, sadly. Charmaine narrated a book. What book did Charmaine... what book is it? Is it any good? Is it like Penthouse Letters? That would be sexy. Sean, Janie would have been smart to continue with the pool project. Would have shown that she had hope Jack and Lily were coming back. Well, listen, that's giving her too much credit. I don't even think there was a pool project. It's just an excuse for not telling you the truth. Bonnie Randall, maybe you'll totally agree with us. Just wait and see. All right. You guys are fucking hilarious. I've already got a little bit of a taste of it, but I just changed the channel. I go on to something else, right? I don't like to get in there and get all pissed off at the person I'm listening to. I just go tune into share if I needed that shit. And I don't want to dislike somebody in that sense. Yet. But I'll go over. Seems strange Karen didn't stick about to clear her name, especially as she's been involved in chats, Paula. Oh, that's because I give her a 24-hour penalty. She's in the box for 24 hours. That's a lot. That's a long time for this channel. Now that I know she's Daniel. There's no excuse to be sitting, more or less sticking up for Daniel in this point in time, unless you yourself are Daniel. No, if you're in here and you're not having a two-way conversation, if you're not engaged and you're just incorporating, that's old school. That's nonsense. That mystery and bullshit has passed. Now you're just making yourself look like an idiot in my live chat, and it's just boring. Like if you're putting comments up that make no sense to nobody, you're just manipulating and trolling anyway. And you combine that with the stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes, like. I get 3 messages a day from Karen Jones. Fuck, I've got 15 unopened messages in my inbox. Like, why? Why? It's somebody trying to manipulate me, okay? It's nothing that I particularly said. I didn't ask for anybody to converse with me. It's not that I don't pay attention in the background, but you're engaging me, you're trying to engage me on a level that I'm way ahead of you on in this circumstance. Doesn't matter who you actually really are. I've already been through this time and time and time again for fucking years. I know the level of manipulation the people involved, especially suspects, engage on. I don't engage. Or I engage on my terms. I think Dolly said it better last night. The entire class deserves to know. Why would she do a private? Andy H., you're talking about... Yeah, I know what you're saying. What are with these private... Well, that way she can surround herself by a bunch of pretentious individuals that are so eager and treat her a certain way. She wants to be treated well in that circumstance. Like in reality, why would you be out here in the first place? Why would you be giving interviews to anybody in the first place? The only person that benefits is the content creator. The content creator is the one that gets manipulated. And that's what's going on. And that's what's going on with that stupid ass Daniel and Karen Daniels, Finkel Einhorn Finkel. Dion, what's going on? You're new here? Well, congratulations. There you go, Flight Nurse. There's a new person right there. I like how you're straight to the point and tell it as it is. Yeah. Most of the time I am. In this circumstance, how can you not be? He is. You think it's a disgruntled neighbor, Layla? I can't figure Karen out. Yeah, she's probably... She does sound a lot like a disgruntled neighbor. But who knows? I'm not to be manipulated. If you can't get to the point as to what it is that you're getting in contact with, it tells me that you're looking for more of a sounding board than anything. You're not looking to have a conversation in that sense. It's just bizarre behavior. It's unhealthy psychologically. Karen, you need to take it easy. Did anyone hear in the Wade video that he beat up Daniel? No, but I'm not saying that it's not in there because of how he speaks. It's difficult. Like there is so much in that conversation. You need to stop and digest it a little bit to get a good understanding. You need a few go-throughs in that sense. Do you want to listen to it with me, or should we do it later today? Let's do it later today. You're better, Nasty. You're greater. You're a greater man. I got to go get some lunch and do some parenting type things and clean myself up today. But I want to come back on later today and talk about that. Karen could also be a 15-year-old keyboard warrior, in your opinion? Oh, Lily. Could be anybody, right? Not to you. Let's see. I think he said he's seen him at a liquor store and beat him up. Maybe I misheard. I wondered maybe if you did mishear. I didn't hear that. But I get like a few minutes in and then I stop and I think about it for a while. And there's things that I miss. Like there's tie-ins that I miss to all of this. See you later, Quillfish. Have a good day. But I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I don't think that he got physical with Daniel. I mean, what would that prove? I don't think that he was a physical type of individual. Maybe you probably misheard that, but I guess I could be wrong. You seem more of just like a third-party observer on the situation, not wanting to overstep his bounds too much. I appreciated the information that he talked about. You want to listen again, Lobster? You think he heard that? Did you hear that? I don't know, Monkey Mind. Yeah, Paula says, I hope you didn't mishear. I hope you didn't mishear, Andy. Listen, I'm going to cut it short. We're going to come back later, and let's listen to him. Straight up, no interruptions. I'm going to go pull that video, and we'll listen to it later on this afternoon, friends. I'm going to go get some things done today. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's 12:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time on the 28th of July. Jack and Lily are still nowhere to be found, and there's still all this deception. Why? talk to you guys in a little bit.